morning, people. Technically, today's a Friday because it's a bank holiday tomorrow. So, Friday energy. But it's Thursday, the 6th of April. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And I thought this is a lovely show. We did tell them yesterday today was going to be a lovely, nice show for several reasons. We've got a guest host. Actually, I'm going to allow you this weekend. After this week, I'm not referring to you as the guest host anymore.
You always do, and then you say that the next time.
I know, it comes out too naturally. We've got guest hosts, we've got guests, we've got two of us, and I've got a special announcement for you. But I am one of your hosts, your favourite shade queen, my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer, news analyst, and of course, the melanin is jam-packed.
Period.
And they call me Maxie Johnson.
When did they start calling you?
Listen.
He threw you off the Yeah, that happens to Gina sometimes. She'll be like, they come like, girl, that's not you.
It's Maxie Johnson here.
And our lovely guests, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Tinuka.
And
Chloe.
I'm Chloe.
No, you're not doing this.
No, we're not doing this.
I said Chloe, I said it properly. Chloe. The mic was just too far from me.
Well, we've got the lovely ladies from Five Times More with us again, returning guests. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having us.
How are you guys feeling?
Good.
Yeah?
Tired.
That's a personality at this point.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. But it's gonna be a good show. And last time you guys came as guests, like interviews, but you're with us from the top of the show.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
Is everything right there? So yeah, it's gonna be a nice show. Well, you guys good?
Yeah.
Maxie, you man?
Fantastic.
Good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
How are you, Esther?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. So earlier we were talking about, and it was funny. We were talking about this earlier, and then when you came in, just before we started recording, you were like, "Oh, I need some hand cream." So what we're talking about was how the science behind us creaming our bodies, but somehow your hands are dry.
My hands are dry because I went to the bathroom before I came and I didn't cream my hands. But
Okay.
I make it a thing to cream
your
my
hands.
hands when I cream my body.
I feel like I do that, but it still doesn't. When I get in the car, I have to put
More.
I have to
So
use
is
hand
it a
cream.
psychological thing for you? Like you have to just feel like you separated it?
Nah, because my hands
as
be
a
dry,
whole-
sis. I look at my hands and they're really dry. They need the hand cream.
No,
I don't get it.
I'm the same. Literally, I'm the same.
Do you think it's the same with the feet? But because our feet are like having shoes, we don't know that it's dry.
No.
Maybe some certain parts of the body. Because it
I'm more
is,
prone.
it's harsher skin, isn't it though? Your hands and compared to like your body.
No, not mine.
Sorry.
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 I
haven't had it in my life.
don't know. It's so interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But
My hands are definitely always permanently dry. So I have to have hand cream. That's why when I came in, I was like, hand cream, please.
Yeah.
Is that because you wash your hands all the time?
Not really.
Is it?
I do wash my hands all the time to be fair though.
That's probably why.
Not
When
that
you
I'm a
wash your
dirty
hands, do you
girl,
cream?
but
Do you cream your hands after you wash your hands?
Not always, depends what I'm doing.
That's it.
Because I don't want to be oily and slipping and sliding as I'm walking around my house. There's no need for that.
Slide
It's a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
because
just-
your hands are cream.
Nah, man, it's a lot.
Listen, allow it.
That's actually so interesting. Because I'm a germaphobe, I can't even say I'm going to do an experiment where I go a period of time without. So this is just my story.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've
you're
had cream in every
sticking
bag. That's what matters. But all right, should we get into the show?
Let's do it.
All right, thank you.
All right. So, our first headline, an update about yesterday's breaking news, which was about the former S&P chief executive, Peter Murrell, who is basically the husband of the former First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, who was arrested yesterday morning. So he was questioned while police searched their Glasgow home and S&P headquarters as part of their investigation. Ms. Sturgeon said she had no prior knowledge of Police Scotland's plans. The full said inquiries were ongoing. In a statement, Police Scotland said Mr. Murrell was arrested at 7:45 yesterday morning and released shortly after 7 p.m. Next headline, and it's a bit of a trigger warning here, and the serving Met police officers have been taken away from tackling serious crime and terrorism and instead told to investigate wrongdoing in the force. Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley said about 90 officers had been moved away from fighting serious and organised crime to the Met's professional standards team. It comes after the force was branded as institutionally racist, homophobic and misogynistic in a damning report. In an open letter to the Mayor of London and the Home Secretary Suella Braverman, Sir Mark said officers had been diverted to the Force's Directorate of Professional Standards, the DPS. The letter updated the Met's efforts to weed out rogue officers. Vetting rules have been tightened, and in the next 6 months, about 100 officers will have their status reviewed and may well up leaving the organisation. And the last headline, almost like basically a reason for the last headline, pretty much. And this is a trigger warning here as well. And this is about PC Jonathan Simon, who was 44. He received a suspended 16-week sentence for harassing a woman after a breakup. He was found guilty last month after Westminster Magistrates Court heard he repeatedly visited her home, sometimes while on duty, and left her messages and voicemails. The judge said his behaviour had brought the Met Police into disrepute. The stalking behaviour lasted from October of 2021 to July of 2022. Simon, a police constable in the East Area Command Unit, first met the woman when he was on duty in May of 2021 and began a relationship with her, which she later ended, which is what the Met Police basically reported. Afterwards, he repeatedly visited her home, sometimes while on duty, despite the woman telling him that she did not want to see him anymore. Sparing Simon an immediate custodial sentence, the judge pointed to the effect custody would have on the officer's family. He sentenced the officer to 25 days of rehabilitation activity requirement, ordered him to do 200 hours of unpaid work, and barred him from contacting the woman. That's all that happened to him.
That's scary, man.
Yeah. And that's it for the headlines.
All right, thank you. Let's get into what you're saying.
All right, guys. So today's topic of the day, pretty sure that you guys can guess what it's going to be about. Well, to some degree anyway, because we got our wonderful guest here. And yeah, pretty much, I guess you guys want to talk to us about April Advocacy Month. So what is that? Because like I said earlier, I found out it's basically you guys' term.
You
right?
coined the term.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Love it.
We did.
She said you did.
Yeah, we did.
That's
we
true. Before it starts catching on, people forget where the origin. Yeah, that's true.
So April Advocacy started off of the back of our petition debate. So remember we had that petition that went viral and then we waited for like ages until it was debated in Parliament. Well, we wanted to make a whole song and dance about it. We were like, yo, this is being debated in Parliament for the first time ever. Let's make the whole month a month of advocacy where we write to our MPs, where we find out about information, where we do things to just, you know, make maternal health outcomes better.
Sorry, for context, just for anyone who hasn't watched the last interview, which you should, it's really good.
Yeah, you should.
But let them know what the petition was for.
So the petition was to improve Black maternal health outcomes, basically, because historically Black women were 5 times more likely to die during pregnancy, childbirth, and the 6-week period after, and that's hence our name, 5 times more. And so yeah, we started a petition because we just wanted to get the change makers to like do something about it. Like we just felt like this has been going on for so long. How can we get those in power to react and make some changes? So yeah, that happened in April 2021. And then that was after, a couple of days after we launched our survey and then subsequent report. Yeah. So yeah, we just want to make sure that April is always kind of etched into people's minds as a way to, you know, continue that conversation. And now we've kind of expanded it. So we're talking about different topics pretty much every single day, topics that affect Black women and pregnancy, how to advocate for yourself, and how to advocate like in the public as well. Yeah.
So I remember you saying a lot has changed basically since the last time you came. I guess what's the main thing that's happened that we need to know about?
Statistics gone down, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's gone down to 3.7. 3.6.
Oh wow,
Is it 3.6?
Yeah.
3.6 now.
because when you were here last time, you said it was 4.
Went down to 4, yeah.
So
That's
just a little bit. Something.
Still something.
It's something.
Yeah,
It's still
something.
something though,
Yeah.
because it could be going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So
thought
that
it
is
was gonna go
something.
up
We thought it was going to go up
because
because
of COVID.
yeah, the way the reports are done is it's every 3 years behind the year. So
Okay.
if it's 2021, it'll be done from 2020 to 2018. I think
Okay.
it will take those years into consideration.
Okay.
So we were obviously very worried that because of COVID and obviously Black women were more likely to
We're dying.
We're
COVID,
dying during COVID and, pregnancy and stuff like that. So we were so scared that it was just going to go right back up again. But it
That's
actually
really good
went
then.
down.
Because had it not been for COVID, it might be less.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, had it not been for COVID, it would be
But let's
less.
check what happens in December to see if it's going to go up or go down again. Because it still counts from COVID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
that's true.
this
Yeah.
December.
As in December gone.
No, coming up.
Yeah.
But then to be fair, the December gone was worse. Because remember, they weren't sure. They were talking about, COVID coming back. Do we have something? Was it like a monkeypox or something going
Yeah,
around?
monkeypox as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the government predicted that last December was going to be a very, very bad time. And basically told people to brace yourself for anything.
Worse, yeah.
And didn't really happen. So
Let's see.
Is there like a link to the cost of living as well, or is that just completely not really
You know what?
related?
It wouldn't have taken that into account just yet.
No, I mean like going forward. Do you feel like the cost of living crisis?
There is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so when you look at the statistics, it's got disadvantage and advantage as well.
Okay.
So you can see black women who are disadvantaged die more quicker and they have more adverse outcomes.
Why is that though?
I don't know, no. Well, I'm lying. Data says it's the same thing like white women, but like when we done our research, it was not being listened to. Think about it. If a woman's disadvantaged, you probably think she can't read, she don't know nothing. You're going to tell her what to do. You're not really going to take your time to be like, oh my gosh, read this, here's information. It's kind of like, I know what's best for you. I think that's what it is. I don't know about you, Donegal.
Yeah, no, I just feel like there's that assumption. You're right.
Yeah.
That assumption that if you're from a poorer economic background, then you're less likely to read, you're less likely to do a lot of these things, and so they just make choices for you.
Yeah.
Or they just think, oh well, disadvantaged background, English is probably a second language. Do you know what I mean? All of these, and it has really big knock-on effects. Barriers to go in to see the health professionals, and barriers for the health professionals, actually making good contact and giving them the right information as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the case though, because you just think, well, even if it was about disadvantage and it's because black women are poorer, and you should do something about it. That should be the area that you target the most, right?
yeah.
But yeah, that's not what we found from our research. It's not even about that. It's not just about that, should I say? Because people who have got stable jobs, earning above the national average, have got, there's still a whole subset of black women that are having poor outcomes that no one's talking about. They just assume, because you're poor, because you're black, that's why this is happening, and that's not the case.
But to add on to that, there are some really, really good midwives and health professionals that actually take their time. So in terms of young mums, there's a pathway that they go down and they really get looked after. But majority of the time, it's not like that.
Is there any way that, I don't know if anyone can hear me, but there's a question on the screen.
Okay. Is there any way we can look at the stats or any data you've collected so far?
Yeah, it's on our website.
Okay.
Everything's on there. It's under the Black Maternal Experience Report.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you because I don't know.
It's like literally on the main page. If you just scroll down a little bit, you can access that full report.
What's the full website?
www.FiveXMore.com.
Or you can go on Embrace as well. They have the actual report with all the data.
Okay.
So you can compare it to white women, mixed women, Asian women. Yeah.
Do you feel like there isn't really a priority to deal with the situation because maybe the population of black people in the country is just so low? Even though there's 3.7 times, 3.6 times more now, we're still only like 3.5% of the country. Do you feel like that contributes to it?
Yes and no, but they're doing something about it now.
Okay.
So Maria Crawford, who's in charge of the maternity task force, so it's the government and health professionals that come together. They are focusing on maternal death this year. I don't know how much of that is going to be on black women, but they're focusing on maternal death. So I'm assuming we're going to be part of it.
I think the reason they're focusing on maternal death is because actually in the UK, in comparison to the rest of the Western world, there's statistics that came out like not too long ago that the UK is actually one of the worst.
Really?
Now, for context, the UK is actually one of the safest places to give birth in the world. But if you compare it to the rest of Europe, it's really bad.
Wow.
So a second or something.
Yeah, it's like second worst. So obviously they have to target it now. And within targeting that, they will obviously come up against the, black women are
More likely to die,
way more likely.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Obviously, the last time we spoke about this, Maxie wasn't here, innit? So, like, Maxie, like, obviously, you got 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
What was your experience like? What was it like? Sorry, let me not even put any words into your mouth.
What was my experience like? Well, with my daughter, with my daughter, it was, I had a stupid nurse, to put it, to be quite blunt. So with my first one, I think was at the time, I'm trying to think which time it was. No, tell a lie. With my first one, I actually had a really good, team. I had a placenta.
Abruption?
I had a retained placenta. And so I had a few tears, not anything major. So the nurse was stitching me up, or I think she was a doctor actually. The doctor was stitching me up. This is all my husband's account because I was kind of out of it. So she's stitching me up, and then she finished, and then my husband was just like, she just sat there for like 10 seconds. And then she's just like, something doesn't feel right. And she undid all the stitches, and then she saw that my placenta there was still some left. So then she just rushed me to theatre, and my husband was so thankful for a doctor that just didn't stitch me up, and then because obviously I'm not the only person giving birth. Do you get what I'm saying? So she could have just done me and just went to the next woman, but she just went with her intuition, and she just like, but she's Asian, so she's also of a. I don't know whether that might have been why. So yeah, I went straight into theatre. Then she literally kind of took everything out and whatever. So that was, and then I had a really good team after that as well. But my son, that nurse was stupid. So I had a placenta abruption with my son. So I was bleeding quite early from 37 weeks. So I went in, and they did all the checks and whatever. And it was funny because I had an Asian woman check me initially to see how much I dilated. Then I had a black woman. The Asian woman, she said I was only like 2.5. Then the black woman said I was like 6. But I'm just like, is that the size of your hand? Like, because obviously, Asians they're very petite, so their hands will be a lot more smaller as well. So anyway, so I just said I'm not going anywhere. So then they took me up to theatre. So I was bleeding, as I said. With every contraction, I was bleeding, but no one had checked me. No one had checked me. So I just thought I was wetting myself. I was just like, it's probably I'm just wetting myself, or it's my waters or something like that. So I wasn't really too fussed about it. But every time I had a contraction, I passed out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I passed out. The first time it happened, so I pass out, I can hear everything, but I just can't move. So obviously, they press the button, everyone's rushing in, everyone's trying to do something. But because my husband, because of the field he works in, he knows about pressure points. Okay. So he pressed me somewhere on my chest. And that kind of, it brought me back. And he's like, you're not having gas in there again. I was like, give me the gas in there, whatever.
First of all.
First of all. But anyway, I went up to, the labour ward. And as I said, I'm just continuing to bleed. But as I said, my nurse, my midwife that was assigned to me, she hadn't checked me. She was there.
So you're bleeding and she did not know you're bleeding?
Nobody knew.
As you're bleeding out?
Nobody knew. But obviously I told them, I was like, I'm wetting myself. I said, I'm wetting myself. I was like, it's fine. So she's there telling me about, the clothes detergent you're wearing, it's very strong for the baby.
This is your priority right now?
I've never heard that one before.
This is what she was telling me. She said, she was just like, it's very strong, might be too strong for the baby, they have sensitive skin, blah, blah, blah. And me, I'm like in and out. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then, because my sister-in-law was there, so my sister-in-law and my husband was there. My sister-in-law, she was in the middle of her nursing course or whatever. So she just thought, let me check her. So she lifted it. She said my whole bed was full of blood. So obviously she just she was calm. She went to the nurse. She's like, you need to get someone to check her now. So then the nurse came in, checked me. The doctor came in quickly emergency C-section, because obviously if I'm losing blood, the baby's losing oxygen. So that's when I was rushed into emergency C-section. But my nurse, even if she thought it was my waters, she didn't check me, not once.
Stupid
I was probably
is
bleeding
a
out
compliment.
for about, it must have been like an hour or something.
Stupid is actually a compliment.
Yeah.
You could have done better than that. You could have found worse, because that's mad.
So
I
yeah,
don't even know what to say.
that was a quite traumatic experience for my husband, not necessarily for me, because I wasn't really I was in and out, but my husband was quite traumatized by that.
Right. Of course.
Understandably.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience.
That's wild. Is there a caller?
Did I hang up?
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Yeah, Salah, you have to call back. It's not.
That's wild. That's so scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
Do you find like
Great.
like I guess amongst yourselves as black women, you guys talk about these experiences with those who who've had kids, and then find that, you know what,
Hello?
this seems to be something that all of us kind of go through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, hold up, Salah. We can hear you. Hold up.
1 second, Sally. Yeah.
Salah, sorry.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What you do anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the reasons that spurred me on to contact Chloe and start 5XMore, because I had that platform with like new mums. I just wanted to make friends. I was like, I'm not doing this on my own, okay?
Community.
So I wanted to build that community. So there was a lot of us that were talking about our experiences and sharing that. You know, it was very traumatic experiences, if I'm honest. And I was just like, something's not right. Something's not right. What's going on here? I don't understand. So yeah, we definitely, there is that kind of, especially in that new mum phase, that's all you kind of want to talk about. It's like, oh, how's baby sleeping well? This, that, how you feeding? What was your labour like? Those are the top three. Top three when you're a new mum.
Forget the sleeping. What was your labour?
Yeah, it's literally, what was your labour? You want to share that kind of
But I feel like everyone wants to share the traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Because I always share the positive.
Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't had any kids yet.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here, I've actually got goosebumps. The PR for pregnancy is not great. Especially like on social media, and women who have had kids who I know personally as well. The PR is not great.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I do think, I don't know people that was like, I've just had it once and that's it. They have more kids.
Yeah, facts.
So I'm like, okay, fair enough. But
I think we're having the conversations too late though. I never had conversations about labour prior to me having a child. It was always after.
Yeah.
And then you have the conversation, oh, what was your labour experience like? I feel like those questions need to be asked way beforehand. Because I find there's a lot of my friends that they were in a situation where they asked for epidural and they never got it. Like like for whatever reason, they're just like, oh, wait. Then they just ended up, the nurse just ended up not giving it to them. So.
So is the caller today?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Saleh.
Yeah. Hi, good morning.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask some questions about a situation that happened recently, because I don't know if it sounds right or not, but basically 2 weeks ago my cousin died. She was giving birth.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And she died from pulmonary embolism or something like that.
Pulmonary embolism, yeah.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing though, because since she died, we were all expecting that the hospital would like do an investigation into the death, because before she died, she was complaining about, she was bleeding a lot and she was complaining about a lot of chest pain, and she repeatedly told them she she had pain in her chest, and they kept saying to her that it was just, she was just panicking and it's okay and it's fine. And then now, after she's died now, we were expecting them to do a post-mortem on the body so that we can actually, so that they can investigate the situation and actually, so that it doesn't happen again. And after, I don't know how this happened after the burial, because she's Muslim. Our family's Muslim, so they did want to kind of bury her quite like fairly quickly. but at the same time, they didn't. It was only the undertakers that they were asking, like, to speed up the process. They didn't ask the hospital to speed up the process at all. And it turns out now that they didn't do a post-mortem at all. And like, from the way things are sounding, it sounds like they're trying to cover up something. And I don't know, like, obviously I'm only a 24-year-old man. I don't know anything about this stuff. So I'm just asking if you think there's anything that we can do, or I don't know.
They're definitely trying to cover something up, because even women who have passed away, who were not Muslim or had to be buried quickly, I've like heard of families having to fight tooth and nail to make sure there is some form of investigation. And I feel like if like her records, because do you guys remember Nicole?
Thea,
yeah, that's it. And because I was watching, like, I kind of kept up with the story. And when her sister-in-law or something was talking about like the investigations or whatever, it turns out all the complaints she'd made about I can't breathe properly, I'm out of breath, I'm all of this, they never wrote on the file.
and that's
So,
the thing. If
yeah.
it's not written down, it's your words against theirs.
This is it.
So when she was complaining of chest pain, the guy's cousin,
There's
she should write it down.
it's on video. Luckily, we have it on video.
Oh, you have it on
when she was
video?
complaining
Okay.
about.
So that means you definitely got. Is the video with the health professional?
I'm not sure.
Because if it's not with the health professional, then you don't have a case. Because that's what kind of happened with Nicole Thea. She talked about it on YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
but they said there's no case because it wasn't written down. So if it's with the health professional and the health professional didn't write it down, then you have a case. But at the same time, they take long to investigate stuff. And if you need to bury the body quick enough, that's their excuse. They're probably going to say, well, we couldn't investigate because you wanted to bury the body. Because these things take time. I don't know if they do it on purpose, but I know they take time. It takes
so
time.
sad.
It's sad.
So sorry for your loss, Sally.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. It's quite shocking that everything has unfolded how it. Like, I had high hopes for this country just in general, and like I remember the last time you guys came on, and like what you were saying was like it definitely like stood out to me. And as soon as this happened, like that was the first thing I thought of, because obviously we are black, and yeah, it's just very shocking. Well, okay, well anyway, I'll leave you guys to do the show.
Again, I hope your family keep pushing it though.
Yeah, man.
And just see, I hope your family keep pushing it.
I was going to say, send us an email. We can see if we can support you.
Send us an
'Cause
email.
we are in touch with lawyers and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I'm sure we can do something to help you.
Yeah, Sally, did you hear that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll get my mum out because she's been doing it.
Perfect.
But yeah,
All right,
thank you
hon.
very much.
Thank
Have
you.
Thank
a lovely
you.
day, everyone.
You too.
Yeah, bye.
This is so triggering. So sad.
But like you say, Maxi, like it seems the conversation happens too late. Like, why is that though? Do you feel like it's not to put it on ourselves entirely, right? But do you feel like it's maybe a cultural thing where we don't talk about it? Maybe this is just normal. Or?
I don't think it. Yeah, I'm not gonna go up to you, Esther, and say, "Oh my gosh, my labour was traumatic," and say all the awful stuff about it. I don't want to put you off giving birth. So unless you ask me, I'm not gonna say it.
That's true.
And what's the chances of you asking?
Yeah, I think we just need to do our research. If we're thinking about becoming pregnant, just do your research beforehand.
Do you know, I think as well, though, it is. Because I feel like black women would have always been complaining, but they're always dismissed. So I feel like the information now is because I think when you guys came last time, you were saying about what your experience was, and it was a thing of, I don't want anyone else to go through this. Like, it didn't seem right to you, so you took action with it. I feel like when you're dismissed, when you're complaining about something and you're dismissed, you just think, do you know what? It is what it is. And there's that mindset, there's that mindset that, well, women are here to give birth. So, and babies continue to be born. So really and truly, like, it's not a big deal. There is that out there. Do you know what I mean? It's not a big deal. So I feel like the way black women would have been dismissed over time, because even sometimes when I hear the older aunties talking about their experiences, it's as mad as the younger girls today are. So the experiences have always been mad across time. But when you continue to dismiss people, that's, you're gaslighting them to feel like what they're feeling is not true. So I feel like as much as obviously, yes, we can do research and stuff, because even last time you're talking about how like the with medicine and how, you know, black people's pain was not, they were like, oh, they can tolerate it. Like black bodies can tolerate that. Do you get me? So I feel like we've been dismissed and never been cared about throughout time that for us, how would we then know that, you know, this is a conversation we should have with our younger cousins, with our nieces, with our sisters? Because again, when you are there and they're like, oh, it's all right. Like you were saying about people ask for epidural and they're like, oh, you be right. Because I've heard that. That they literally, what they do, they wait. I'm like, oh, we'll be back. So then by the time
It's too late.
It's too late. And they're like, oh, it's too late to give it to you now. You have to give birth now. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like because we've been dismissed and we don't think that our concerns are valid, that's why even within our community, we don't bother. Because again,
I don't see that. First, I think we do accept some of the bad treatment that we get.
I was just gonna say that.
We're kind of like, okay, it is what it is. I'm black. Sometimes you walk into a place and you see someone look at you funny. You're like, they're looking at me because I'm black. You're so used to it. But at the same time, why say do your research? Because if you know your maternity right and someone says you can't have something, you can say, no, this is my rights. Now, when you sound like you know what you're talking about, they treat you differently. So if I go into hospital now and I ask for something and tell me no, I'm going to say, can you write your name and document why you don't want me to have this? They will change. So it's all about doing your research and knowing your rights, because sometimes if you don't know what you don't know, they're going to give you what they think you should have.
I also think even with the research, no one wants to research like bad things that happen. Like you're pregnant, you're just about to give birth. You don't want to research like some of the bad things that can happen. Like, it's just like going on a plane. You don't want to you don't want to watch a film where everyone died. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes you just don't even want to know.
But what are you researching? Because if I want to have a C-section, and I know I want to have a C-section, I'm going to research what's my rights on C-section. I'm not going to research people having C-sections. I want to research my rights on C-sections. If I want pain relief, I'm going to research my rights on pain relief. That's what I'm going to research.
Do you know,
And what am I entitled to?
It is good advice. Sorry, but it is good advice to do that. But I think people don't think that they're going to have to
Be in that situation.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? If I'm going to hospital, like, you are qualified, you studied, like, you know what you're doing. So I shouldn't even have to come here with points on like a notepad of nope, I should be having this, nope, this. So I feel like I think maybe when people have their second child, because people with bad first experiences, their second child, a lot of foolishness is not happening. Do you get what I mean? But if it's your first time, I would research, like, I'll be honest with you, I've never, even with our conversation with you guys and having more conversation and seeing more content and all that stuff, I haven't thought about researching my rights. It's just more about what is it like and what's this or what should happen, or if the person does this, like the placenta thing, that's not the first time I've heard of that. So for me, I'm like, okay, so if I have to do this, me and my partner should be like, are you sure everything is out? Are you sure nothing's been left in? Is those kind of things that I would research.
In that,
I wouldn't think
in that
about my
situation, you're not
rights.
going to do that, because I know all of this. If I get pregnant again, I'm probably not going to research it. It's when you're in that situation
thing,
that you end up doing it. You don't do it beforehand. You hear about it. I hear so many stories.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in hospital. When it comes to it, then I'm going to look for it. You don't
That's
do
the
it
thing. You
beforehand.
don't. I didn't know about placenta abruption. Placenta.
No one talks about it.
No one
No
talks
midwife,
about
no
it.
appointments,
At
because no one
all.
expects it to happen as well.
Exactly. And sorry. No, I was just gonna say, like, as you said, I think we accept a lot of things
Yeah,
that the
100%.
doctors tell us.
Yeah.
Like, even from the beginning, I had pregnancy anemia. So I just accepted that. They were just like, oh, you're high risk. And you just accept your high risk.
high
and,
risk,
yeah.
Okay, cool. No, what are we gonna do about it? How can we reduce all of like the risk and stuff? And they're just like, yeah, you're high risk, and you just accept it. You're like, okay, I'm high risk now. I had plans of a water birth. Do you know what I'm saying? So all of that went out the window because I just accepted what she told me, and she just made it out like that nothing can be done about it. Whereas probably a white person would be like, okay, like they're a bit more proactive, a bit more, okay, what can we do? They ask more questions to see how they can reduce the risk.
But we accept a
just,
lot of things.
we accept it and we don't ask questions.
Because I would have done the same thing. If I've been told I'm high risk and I can't have a water birth,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
go home. I won't bother go home and research.
Yeah, like, how
I'm
do I
high
lower
risk.
this?
Yeah. What
do
can I
take?
do?
How can
Yeah.
I change this?
Yeah, I think it's good because doctors say things like yourself, with finality. Is that the word? Like they just say like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, this is your lot. This is what you've been. This is your story, and that's it.
But even in what they do and how they say it, they have a duty to explain things. But because of time constraints, because of everything that's going on in the hospital in that setting, they don't. So they're supposed to tell you what the situation is, what your other options are, what the risks are. You know, they're supposed to explain all
Cover
of those
all of
things
that.
because you need to make an informed decision. It's not, right, this is it, that's it, that's all that's happening. They need to tell you what your other options are. They need to give you the choice.
Yeah.
But because that we don't see that at
No.
all. A
And
lot
I've
of the time.
I also think it's a knock-on effect on the NHS system, because I feel like every time I went to a checkup and whatever, or when I was in labour, there wasn't enough doctors.
Yeah.
And it's us that are suffering for it. Because honestly, like probably a lot of white people, they're private, they're cool.
That was my next
They
question.
can afford it. But it's us that now get left with the doctor that's there. Like there's one doctor with 10
other
other women. So they don't have time to explain to us what's happening.
That was going to be my next question. Is that have you guys spoken to? Well, you must have. I'm sure you would have. But like spoken to women who gave birth and went through the whole process, but with private healthcare. And like, is there a difference?
I always give the
That's
you know, I always give the example. I always give the example of Serena Williams. If one of the richest black women in the world, you know, she ain't going to no NHS. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's
That's
got
true.
the best of the best of the best of the
That's
best.
true.
She can sit there and say, "There's something wrong. You need to check me," and be dismissed. If not for the fact that she had a pulmonary embolism before and knew what it felt like. We don't know what could have happened.
That's
Do you get what I'm
true,
saying? Because
actually.
even in that private setting, she was dismissed by the nurses, dismissed by the doctors as, "Oh, you've just given birth. It's okay. Chill." Do you get what I'm saying? So they're all being taught the same thing. This is what we need to
Yeah.
realise. They're literally all being private doctors and NHS doctors, whatever. They're all
trained the
being
same.
Taught the same.
Yeah.
taught the same thing. It's the same Eurocentric nature
It's true.
of
Actually,
the curriculum that they're being taught. It's the same thing.
because some of them are even doing double shifts. They're leaving the privates to go to NHS
Yeah.
quickly and then
Yeah,
go back.
back shifts.
It's the
Literally
same
what
person
they're
actually.
doing.
It's just different building.
Literally what they're
It's
doing.
true.
I think you get more care because obviously they're looking after a smaller amount of people. The caseload is smaller. That's about it. But if you have a good midwife, you're fine. Because I always talk about my experience. My first experience was, it was perfect. The midwife was lovely. She gave me her time. She was just, beautiful midwife. Like, I'll never forget her.
Yeah.
Second one, I don't know what's wrong with her. She was just, what was wrong with the second one? Not that you were there, but I don't know what's wrong with her.
I didn't know you there.
Because I gave birth in the morning with my second son.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Whether the first midwife, my first child, I gave birth really, really late. And she gave me all her time. But then at the same time,
Oh,
maybe
you're
it wasn't
saying that
busy.
The time of day was like not
Maybe
as
the time of
busy.
day wasn't that busy. Maybe. But still, when did you give birth? What time?
Ooh, with Ez, they were both in the morning, you know.
Yeah.
They were both in the morning, but I had, for some reason, they was still on shift. So the person that I came in with, no, that was only Eden. So the person when I came in, it was the same person that like delivered. So I didn't have a change. But with
They like
Ez,
to
I
do
had
that.
a change.
They like to do that.
Yeah, with Ez, I had a change. Yeah.
Is there like a service of like private midwives?
There's
They're
different
a
organised. Oh, God.
They were doulas.
They're not mid.
They're not midwives. No.
Because there's a girl on TikTok, I can't remember her name now. I follow her, but she does like a lot of like she's a nurse, I think.
Elizabeth.
Yes, Nigerian.
Mama. What's her? Her name's Elizabeth, but her mama.
She's Nigerian and like
I know it, and it's on the tip of my tongue.
Mama.
she does good story
Yeah.
times.
Elizabeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
She started at this on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, so her like, because I watch her videos sometimes and I learn a lot that way.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact there is a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
But then she's someone who you can tell she cares.
Yes.
I was thinking you need to start a service because if I can like get to bond with the woman who will be like the midwife through my pregnancy and like just have someone who I can do that with, I feel like that'll be
There's
good.
not enough midwives to do that.
No,
Yeah.
they're leaving in their droves. As many people are being qualified as many people are leaving.
Yeah, they can't do that.
So it's impossible. So even continuity of care, which is where you get the same team, not the same midwife, the same team
Of
like,
8.
Of 8.
Okay,
So you can
that's
actually
not a team,
see
that's a crowd.
a different person every time anyway. But continuity of care, because the staff numbers are so low, they can't even do that. They've stopped it.
If you want to see the same midwives, you're better off having a home birth. There's about 2.
Yeah.
Really?
But it depends what hospital you go to as well. That's why I always say do your research because some hospitals are different. Some hospitals, as a black person, you get extra appointments. So you
And extra
have
scans.
to. And extra scans and stuff.
What, for health, for concern reasons or just the goodness
That's
of the
just
heart?
their, that's
Just
just
because
their
you're black.
policy. Yeah.
They changed it. Some hospitals changed
So they
it.
do know something's wrong then?
Yeah. And some
They
are
just-
doing things about it.
Yeah.
Fair.
There's been quite a few updates in the maternity
Yeah.
world as well in terms of like services and things that people that
Where I used to work, they
different
changed it.
hospitals are doing.
It was in South London. I don't want to say the name, but
That's right.
they're giving you extra appointments because you're black and extra time and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's good. Because you'd be surprised that the effect it has even on like black men and the husbands
yeah.
and the dads. Because I'll be honest with you, my husband was like, we're cool with the 2 we got, you know. Like he was like, like we're good. Like you'd be surprised at how many like fathers are just a bit traumatized by the experience their partners went through during labour process.
And they don't have spaces to talk about it because at least with us as women, you gather us, we're definitely chatting. But men, when are they even gathering
I
in the
said to my
first
husband,
place?
can
And
you
if
write
they
a book,
are, they're not
please?
talking
Because
about that.
I'd love to hear from the father's point of view. Like, what's your perspective on the whole thing?
There's a lot of white dads talking about it. I know a few that talk about it. Like, let me not say his name because I don't know his name.
That's so funny.
No, Scott, that's it. I'm going to say some next name. He talks about it because he suffered from it and he's got 7 children.
Wow.
Yeah, dad of 7.
And men can get postnatal depression.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not spoken about.
And PTSD as well.
So what would that come from the experience of labour basically, and not anything else?
I think there's other ways.
Okay.
First of all, seeing your partner in that distress, but then also the impact that it has on you. I think a lot of men are not ready. So one of our awareness week, we're going to be talking about dads and doing stuff with dads. Because imagine it's you and your partner, and then a baby comes along. You're tired, she's tired. She no longer focuses on you, she focuses on the baby. Some men lose their... I'm going to say identity.
Hey.
Some men lose their identities when it comes to pregnancy, and there's not a lot of support from them. Or imagine your partner had the baby loss. Now, you physically didn't go through that. She did. So how can you feel a certain way? You can't feel a certain way.
Yeah.
You have to look after her, but you're grieving yourself.
You're grieving yourself. You lost a baby.
There's no support for dads.
Yeah.
I champion for dads a lot. There's not a lot for them.
Honestly.
Me and my husband are actually in therapy.
Oh, that's good.
And it is what it is. Not that there doesn't have to be anything wrong in
And that's what people
particular.
don't understand. People feel like it's like a crisis. No.
It's not a crisis.
No, it isn't.
It's you go to the dentist to get a checkup so you
Okay.
can avoid. Do you understand?
Yeah,
And it's very much the same with therapy. But yeah, we're going through some therapy sessions, and he has opened up actually about the fact that,
so good.
especially when my son was first born, it was a bad time for him. It was a very, very bad time for him. But there's no space for him to talk about that, so he internalized it.
Yeah.
And he can't take it out on the child.
Yeah.
You can't take it out on the child. So our relationship really suffered. And then I had postnatal depression. And I didn't really talk about that. I just kind of brushed it under the carpet. I put myself into, my child and doing everything and running my business and whatever. And I just kind of, everything was swept under the carpet. And then it just blew up. Do you know what I mean? But it was only until we got to therapy and we had that space to talk about it that he was like, yeah, like I really suffered because you've got to remember it's been me and you for the whole time. You get pregnant, it's still kind of me and you, but you're really thinking about the baby, let's be honest. You're thinking about the future, you're thinking about so many things, and I'm kind of there, but you're not focusing on me. And then as soon as this baby comes, it's sleepless nights, it's you're doing breastfeeding, I'm at work, I don't get a chance to spend time with you. There's so many different factors there. And I felt it. And I was like, right, I didn't know. You just think you're a man, get on with it. But it really affected. And obviously the traumatic birth, that was really hard on him as well. But he just never had a space to talk about it. Never.
And even during the labour process, men are X'd out. Like,
Yeah.
for example, when I was rushed to theatre, it's only because of the husband I have. Normally, the men...
Ain't nobody telling him
the men have to sit like, you can't come in theatre. My husband said,
I'm going to be in there.
are you mad? Like, he's like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, because his mum died in the same hospital, so he was like, never under my watch is this happening. So he was both times he was in the theatre.
So let's put the gloves and the hair cover up. Let's go. Let's do it.
They looked at him and they was not going to argue. So
you can hold the scissors for us.
listen, they gave him the scrubs and he was there, and I was so thankful that he was
did
there,
that, yeah.
because me that I don't even like needles, like
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening because I was just tired, and so yeah, a lot of fathers, they just feel very helpless.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very sad.
because there's nothing you can do. There's no way in which you can help or anything, relieve any pain. You don't have many medical knowledge, so you're really as confused as me sometimes. So you don't know what to do. But he was just like, it's not happening on my watch. So he was there. But a lot of fathers don't. They're not as assertive, or they're just X'd out. So
But don't forget, as a black man as well,
yeah.
you know the
Exactly.
stereotypes as
Yeah.
One
well.
time, now they're saying you're angry.
Yeah,
Exactly,
no, because
And
my brother
security.
tried it and they called security for him.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was a bit of a heated situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true.
Or in some cases, they're a bit too get too emotional, and then you're the one that ends up looking after.
Yeah, that happens as well.
You know what? Lack of balance, all right?
Balance. I need just can you just be in the middle, please. No, my husband. What? He was. He was just too funny. He was just like. Yeah, just a very. I mean, we jest about it now, but it was just like, just do what the doctor's saying, blah blah blah, and whatever. And what can you do?
Do you know what's so interesting about that as well, though? That was probably from fear as well.
Yeah.
Because you know, fear manifests in different ways. Some people get scared and they're quiet, and some people it's like, I just don't want. Like the thought of this is stressful. Do you know what? Just do whatever. Like let's just
do what
let's
they
move,
say,
let's just do what we need to do. But it's interesting because I've heard like fathers talk about even that process of like bonding with the baby, because obviously say the baby's breastfeeding, they don't feel like they're as close, like they're gonna be as close to the child, and like, the child's gonna like us. Because I feel like when the kids start growing up a bit more, that toddler stage, that's when you see like dads want to be like almost like this when the baby knows me kind of thing. Like you know that I'm really in your life, and they go out their way to do this, kind of like trying to like you've always been with your mom kind of thing. This is our time to bond. But it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. But I'm glad we're having these conversations now. I feel like we're always in a better position than our like the previous generation was.
Yeah.
And obviously the part of that is credit to their hard work and to them allowing certain opportunities to be able to be given to us. It's a privilege that we have because of them, because of what they've been through. Like I feel like they crawl so we can walk.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that we have this information.
Yeah, and our kids will be running. Have you seen them, Gen Z?
Listen, they don't play.
They don't play. So imagine what are our kids? Is it Gen 8? What is it? I don't know.
Me.
But like our kids, they're gonna be unstoppable. They're gonna be unstoppable because
They really will.
you got to think like with the advancements of like social media, with us growing up here and doing like they're gonna. There's no chance.
Yeah,
No one's.
No, really.
they're not
Really,
gonna take
truly.
no rubbish at all. It's gonna be so different. I'm excited.
I love it.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, caller.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm fine, thank you. Thanks, ladies, for sharing. I can't see the comments at the moment, so I don't know if you've answered this. Just have a quick question. If somebody or women have already had their babies, is there like a cooling off period or an expiry date of when they can sort of maybe raise complaints or raise awareness after they've had the child? Because I think sometimes some people may have experienced something, but because they're seemingly fit now or the baby's alive, they just kind of, that's what matters, that's what's prioritized. So is there something where you can still make a complaint maybe 3 months after or a year after and stuff like this?
It depends on the hospital.
Yeah.
I feel like different hospitals have different rules for that. So some is up to 26 weeks, some is up to a year, I've heard. But just remember your medical notes, your maternity file will be kept on record for 25 years. So you can always request for that back.
But I say if you want to make a complaint, do it within a year.
Yeah.
I'll say even within 6 months. I know it takes time. Some things are very traumatic, but do it within a year, definitely, because it takes a long time. It takes a very long time.
And also write down your experience and whatever you can remember as well.
Yeah.
Because then you will have that to be able to compare to the notes when they do come. So, and also some services in hospitals offer debriefs. You know more about debriefs than I do.
Yeah, so if you had a traumatic experience and you want things to be explained to you, you can get a debrief. But I worked with, so there was a report called the Donna Ockenden report. I worked on the essential, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's number 2. And it's all about listening to women. So we have independent senior advocates, ISA, and they work for women who have adverse outcomes or who want to make a complaint. So depending on what hospital you gave birth, find out if they have that, and then they can support you making a complaint. And they will help you fight your case if you need to.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, hon.
Bye.
Bye. This question isn't as important as that at all, yeah. But it just reminded me of something. Like you said, we can get access to our medical records for 25 years, yeah? Does that include the Red Book thing?
What Red Book thing?
Okay, maybe it's my own.
The Red Book for as a
Red
child.
Book.
Yeah, the Red
You,
Book.
you keep that. You have that.
Okay.
That's stuff for the parents.
You sure?
Yeah.
And isn't there something that they keep?
Maternity book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can get that?
Yeah. That's what you can get.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Red
So
Book is for you to keep because
He
it's
said
got
Red
like,
Book thing.
it's got like record of your immunizations and like when they weigh you and stuff like that. That's for the parent to keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Okay. That's something else I was going to ask. Yeah. When it comes to men, yeah, what do you think is the best... How can we best prepare ourselves to do a much better job at protecting you guys, basically, during the process?
Research.
Don't faint.
Is there like a top 5 things that we must make sure we know? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, remember what you were saying about the whole your face make me.
My face. No, my face does. Oh no, I honestly do not know what my face is doing.
Because you know how,
Just
for
have that in
example, we're talking about how I think you said your husband was basically saying, "Oh no, listen to the doctor, this, that, and third."
Oh yeah.
Like men are going to be typically anyway very logic based, and we're going to think, you know what, you're not a doctor. Respectfully, you're not a doctor, right? This is a doctor, right?
They must know what they're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we may try to steer you to the correct path, right? How do we then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess, do the right thing, basically, and not end up making a horrible mistake.
Yeah. I think maybe the one thing is, as a woman, have a birth plan.
Okay.
Have a birth plan and explain exactly what you want on that birth plan, and let him know about it. Let whoever it is, your partner, your birthing partner, know what it is you want, what your wishes are, so that if you're in a position where you can't talk for yourself, they can say, look, I know that this is on their birth plan, this is what their wishes are, can we get this, put in place?
So when you say birth plan, you mean like I want epidural, I don't want epidural, I want gas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you would like to give
But I say go through the process
Okay.
together. Go for it together. But birth plan, definitely. But we actually got recommended steps for fathers on our website as well,
Oh, beautiful.
as part of our resources. But I think if you go through the process together, then you definitely know what your wife or partner wants.
FiveXMore.com, right?
Yes.
Cool.
But I think as well, just to add on to that, I feel like for men, that whole white coat syndrome, that the doctor knows best, be on my side.
Okay.
Be on my side, no
I
matter
never
what.
seen that crap.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If
I
my
never
man's on
seen
my
that
side,
No, but
when
remember,
all of this comes down, we've got a word to have.
you may
I'm
not.
going home with my wife.
Be on my side, no, because white coat syndrome is real, like you said.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my husband was very much of the this is, if the doctor's saying this, then this is what we need to, because he's believing what the doctor's saying.
Yeah.
But actually, it's me, it's my body. I'm telling you something doesn't feel right. I'm telling you I'm in pain. I'm telling you this and that. And the doctor's saying, oh well, it takes 24. They're going textbook, and my body's not doing textbook. So I need you to be on my side.
Yeah.
If I'm saying, something's not feeling right, I expect you to take that
Yeah.
and run with that.
And run with it.
Yeah. And not just go with
Yeah,
whatever
that's
the
very
doctor
important,
says.
Yeah, it's very important,
But
man.
I think that's hard for them to do. I can't lie.
It is.
It's
it is.
hard.
It's hard, but it's
when
harder
we
for me
hear
in
it-
this current situation I'm in, sir.
Yeah, but when we hear it from so many black women saying, "Yo, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about," I think that will make us change the way we think. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, respectfully, you guys are not doctors, but at the same time, the doctors don't always get it right. More times than not, it seems they're not.
But
We're
you know
not
your
doctors,
body.
but we know our body.
This
The
is it.
doctors
This
are
is
not
it.
in our bodies.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is
I
exactly.
know my body better than anybody else. If I'm telling you, something's up, you need to believe that, because the doctor, there's no amount of whatever it is that you can't feel the pain I'm feeling inside my body.
And I feel that's the perfect response. That's the perfect response to, like, he's got a white coat, he's a doctor. That's great, but I know I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of textbook when it comes to your first child
Yep.
and you're having the contractions.
Yep.
They'll tell you 1 minute apart, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Do you know how frustrating it is to hear that? And my mum was just like, no, you have to tell them, you have to lie and say you're getting it, this and this and this, for them to actually take you seriously.
Or exaggerate.
Yeah, you have to exaggerate because they will just be like, that's textbook. Like they will not deviate from that. And it's really frustrating.
This may sound like a silly question, yeah, but do you think men should take this exact same approach if the doctor is a black woman, for example?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
No matter the race. I don't think race is the issue.
Okay.
You can have a white doctor. She'll treat you the same as the black doctor. I don't think race is a thing.
Okay, cool. I'm only saying that obviously for obvious reasons, because obviously I guess if they, for example, are mothers themselves, they would have gone through the process, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know what the issues sometimes with like older black women is that they love our tradition and culture, and when we were back in our days and we were giving birth,
They love a tough
Yeah.
we
love.
just had a squat and the baby just popped out. Like is very. Some of them, yeah.
Said that squat.
Listen, some of them, yeah, just pop down, the baby was out. Some of them, their mindsets are so backdated, and it's sad to see because they're in medical spaces where knowledge, like you have to re-up on the knowledge, but they're still holding on back to that because sad. I think we talked about it last time you guys were here. How you might like they will speak to a white woman or Caucasian woman differently to how it is that they will speak. And again, it's that cultural thing where black people just feel like I'm the elder, so automatically. Is that familiarity on account of we're both black skin?
See, I was going to ask though, is that actually the reality though? Because if it is, that's very sad because as doctors, you would have seen something completely different to, let's just say, our mothers who are not doctors, right? Who have just their experience, right? But as doctors, you see the modern black woman going through certain things. You know the stats. Surely you shouldn't have that same mentality. Do you get where I'm coming from?
I've seen them have different mentalities when I've gone to get a blood test. How much more in labour?
But sometimes it works in your benefit, though. Sometimes it actually is beneficial that they treat you like that. Yeah, that's
It's
it.
a gamble.
It's
And I can't gamble
50-50.
with that,
I always
yeah.
say it's 50-50. You actually don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You have to go in there and hope and pray that you get someone good.
Yeah, it's like a lottery though.
Yeah.
You have to pray you get someone good. Don't pray you get someone black.
Yeah.
Pray you get someone good.
Good.
Because
Yes.
you can get a white midwife that's amazing. You can get a black midwife that will tell
He's a
you,
terrorist.
suck it up.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you the first? That's very, very real.
I'll kick you
You
in
have
the
to
foot,
call
you
it
know.
as it is.
I will use my foot to kick your face.
Just pray you get a good
But also
midwife.
it's a
Yeah.
contraction.
Regardless. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
But yeah.
So has there been other advancements, I guess, since the last time you came, like you mentioned? Or is it just the main things you've said already?
Yeah. So what was that system in St. Thomas?
I'm looking at you because I'm like, what are you? Oh, the medical, maternal medicine.
Maternal medicine, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a new pilot.
Okay.
They're doing it in 17 hospitals, I think. It's all about maternal medicine. So complications or conditions that you have before pregnancy. And then when you become pregnant, obviously it gets worse. So they're going to have like little pilot centers and St. Thomas's. Why can't I speak?
I don't
St.
know.
You're embarrassing me. I don't know.
And then St. Thomas is one of the pilots. So if you have maybe sickle cell,
Yeah.
you're going to go through a certain pathway and they're going to really look at you. Because a lot of the women who pass away have conditions prior to pregnancy. And when they become pregnant, there's no research on it, there's no studies on it, and then they had adverse outcomes. So these pilot centres are really going to help the deaths.
We talked about it the other day about doing like health MOTs. That's why that's important as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got things that you don't know you have.
Yeah. We really need to take care of our health.
We really do.
We
Not
really
just
do.
not just even within like maternity, just overall.
In general, black people do.
Overall, it's so important. Go for your regular blood test. If there's something that's not right, go for get whatever you can from the system.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's you're entitled to it. You really are entitled to it because I can't even lie. Like outside of all the work and stuff that we do, I'm going through a lot of things right now. And it's only because I went and did that test in the first place that I found out I'm still anemic. I'm anemic. I didn't know. There's me thinking, I'm tired, all the time. Did not knowing it's because I have lower, do you know what I mean? Lower red blood things. My iron is low.
Yeah.
So I have to take iron tablets. There's so many other things that I probably don't even want to go into, but other things in terms of my health that I'm like, right, okay, so I need to start watching X, start watching Y. It's because I went to the doctors and I was like, something doesn't quite feel right.
Yeah.
Can I get a blood test? Can I get this? Can I get that? These are my symptoms. I need you to really check me over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to.
We need to. It's important.
Is there other things, I guess, that women can kind of do to prepare themselves, I guess, for pregnancy number 2?
Well, this is what April Advocacy is all about, to be honest. So we've got like topics literally on everything. Today's a day. Oh,
What?
we need to post.
Please post
It's 9
quickly.
o'clock. It's past 9 o'clock. Sorry.
To social media, please post.
On social media, I need to post something. But today we're talking
workplace.
about maternity, your maternity rights in the workplace, like what you're entitled to, all of these kind of things. Maternity pay, health and safety at work, important, knowing your rights.
Breastfeeding at
all of
work, childcare at work.
that. Yesterday was about pelvic floor. The other
I saw that
day,
yesterday.
the other day we're talking about endometriosis and other conditions and complications that can affect pregnancy. We'll be talking about breastfeeding. We're going to be talking about if you're an older mum, you know, what will your pathway look like? What are you entitled to along that? What are your options?
As an older mum, you don't have many options.
Yeah.
Even they feel like you're high risk, so you don't have many options.
So what's classified as an older mum? What age is
Is
that?
it 35 and above?
35 and above.
35.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
there thinking that you're going to say 50, 49.
35.
35.
Yeah. It used to be
That's
geriatric
crazy.
mum. They used to call them geriatric mums.
Older mum is from 35 onwards.
Yep.
What do they call it now?
Advanced maternal age.
I don't like that one. I think that one's
Advanced
worse.
maternal age.
That one's worse.
That one's worse.
That's
geriatric
crazy.
is crazy.
No, I
though.
prefer that
Geriatric
one.
is rude.
Advanced age.
You just feel like geriatric's like a 70-year-old. Like, yeah.
Wow.
We've got another day where we're focusing on Muslim mums.
Muslim mums.
So we've got our awareness week. An update. Our awareness week has moved from September. It's now sitting in April to go with April Advocacy Month. So we've got a whole day where we're focusing on that experience of that intersectionality of being black and being Muslim. So like, for instance, I've spoken to Ramadan fasting. I've spoken to Muslim women who are like, oh, you know, they just put you in one box if you're Muslim, and they're like, oh, you know, eating curries and stuff like that. And I'm like, we don't eat curry. We're not South Asian. We're African. We're Nigerian. You know. So some of the advice that they give is just not relevant. So what is that? So like even certain myths and stereotypes, like, you know, because I'm wearing a hijab or a niqab, they will say things out of earshot, believing that they can't hear them or that they don't speak English very well and stuff like that. And so there are all these little things, but also how to better take care. So like on the day we'll be focusing on what are some of the practices and some of the things you might see a Muslim woman or Muslim family doing around the child, so you can be more respectful of stuff like that and what their practices are. So it's important for health professionals to also know this, but also for us to educate ourselves. There's so many different days of
there's young mums as well.
Yeah.
We're going to do one on young mums.
You're telling me they think that the hijab or the niqab is made out of lead?
Leave them. Leave them. At this point, leave them.
The experiences people have said that things that they've heard because they believe that if they're on, you know, if this is the first time they've met them and they're wearing, they're going to assume that, they don't speak English or they don't know what they're talking about.
Or their husbands is beating them.
Yeah.
If they come to their husband,
domestic
violence.
Huge stereotype.
Straight away.
Yeah, it's a huge stereotype. So that's a huge intersectionality because it's religion and it's race.
Yeah.
But the whole week and the month as well is all about us as women learning and feeling empowered, but also health professionals learning. We need them to learn.
Yeah. Is there a difference in treatment when somebody, a black woman or a person of colour, has a miscarriage?
Yes, but it has to be free.
You have to have had three
miscarriages
for you
to go through
down a different
pathway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
3 recurrent miscarriages. Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you've got miscarriage, if it's up to 3 times, then you go through a special pathway. But I don't think everyone gets it. I think you have to mention it because I know some people who've gone through 4 or 5 and they've gone through the normal pathway because that's triggering. Yeah, it's very triggering. And then stillbirth as well. There's another pathway. But Tommies, we work with Tommies. They're really, really, really good. So at the moment, they launched a helpline on Monday, innit, with us. So if you're black woman or birthing person, I don't even know why I said that one. I just felt be inclusive. I just like be inclusive.
Birthing person.
Yeah.
Wow. Because we have to be inclusive.
Okay.
We had this conversation before, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It's not.
I think you guys should just said it and just
Yeah, we
going.
did have
I
the
was trying to.
conversation.
She's not. I don't know why you said that. There's a helpline if you have any concerns. So outside of miscarriages, so Tommy's mainly work with baby loss, but outside of that, you can call the helpline for anything, literally anything. Any concerns that you have, call Tommy's. So it's on our website, but it's also on our Instagram. We post it on Monday.
Okay.
Yes, call them. They will support you. Honestly, they will support you.
So those are some of the things like we're trying to highlight this month because I just feel like there's so many conversations that we're not having and people kind of look to us because they trust us. And we've got a huge community of like black women and health professionals that follow us. So we just think, let's put this information, as much information out there as possible. So even if it's just a forward, a share, whatever it may be, you don't know whose life you're going to literally change. So yeah, that's That's kind of.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of information you have on your website, man.
Yeah, it's all there.
Well, thank you.
But no one goes on our website. I don't think no one even knows. I don't know what's going on. No, sorry. No, I'm going to say this because sometimes when
Stats, we get mad views.
forget that. Sometimes I'll be speaking to women. I'll be telling them about our website. Like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't see this. I'm like, why are you not looking? It's there. Like, go on our website. We have so much things there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know the mad. Maybe the white women looking at it because I don't know.
Well, you can't tell by the stats, but we do get mad views. But yeah, I think it's true. When we physically talk to women, people are like, "Oh, okay, I didn't realize."
I didn't know.
But I think that's a part of, and we spoke about this before. That's a part of maybe people disengage, but pregnant people might disengage because they're like, "Oh, I'm a bit too scared. 5 times
They
more,
do.
It seems a bit too scary."
That's what I've.
But
Isn't
it's so
it scary to
positive.
go in like kind of going blind?
Yeah, but
Like
I
having
prefer
information
to
is
go in blind, to
privilege,
be
you know.
honest.
Would
I
you?
prefer to go in blind. She likes to do research.
me, I'm doing
Even though I
research.
keep preaching
That's what,
research,
you can't
I don't
tell.
like to
Yeah, I was
do.
about to say you can't be telling us research the whole episode.
Yeah,
And
but
then
now,
say you're going in blind.
now I know better.
Yeah.
Ish. But I will go in blind. I don't want to know what's going to happen. Just let it happen. But that's wrong.
Oh, let it happen. It's scary.
But we have so many positive stories.
I'm in heaven because I let it happen. Oh Lord, no.
Is she okay?
No, you have to. You have to.
No,
be
pregnancy
sensible.
really gives me the shakes. You know, I'm just
Is
quite.
it?
Yeah, it's very. It's a lot.
You'll be fine, Esther.
You'll be fine, man.
Let's
All right.
So how can the people support 5 times more? Is there a place they can donate and stuff?
Absolutely. We've got a big button on our website that says
Okay.
donate. No, because we actually rely on donations. We are currently a CIC, so it's difficult to get funding. It's difficult to get like anything. So we do rely quite heavily on donations in order to keep running and keep those resources and keep everything kind of going. But also, like I said, a share, a mention, having conversations within, your communities with your loved ones. If you know anyone that's pregnant, literally sending them to our page. We've got free resources, we've got free hypnobirthing, we've got free things that we're, working on at the moment that will be out hopefully before September because we have a deadline.
Please.
But yeah, we've got
we've got
a
so
learning
much.
hub that we're working on that is gonna, have so much information on there. It'll be free. We've got so much on there because we are passionate. We've had one good, one bad experience each, and we know what good looks like, and we want to replicate that for all women out there. So, a forward, a share, a mention, contacting us to come and speak to your organizations or your workplaces. We deliver training. There's literally so much. So, yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, that people. This is not just for the women. This is for the men as well. It's for everybody. 5xmore.com. All the information is there. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, ladies. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Should we move into the headlines?
Let's do it.
All right, people. So, first headline, this is sad news, and it's a trigger warning here. And the founder of the multi-billion-dollar tech company Cash App, Bob was fatally stabbed.
Oh.
Yeah, near downtown San Francisco on Tuesday, his family said. San Francisco police found a 43-year-old man with stab wounds and treated him before he later died in hospital. The California San Francisco Police Department said officers responded to reports of a stabbing on Tuesday at 2:30 in the morning. They found Mr. Lee unconscious on the ground with 2 stab wounds to the chest, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, and started to administer aid before rushing him to San Francisco General Hospital. For those who don't know, Cash App is a smartphone. We don't use it in this country that much at all, do we? It's really an American thing.
Yeah, it's
innit?
an American thing.
Yeah. But Cash App is a smartphone-based payment app that allows person-to-person money transfers and is now worth $40 billion, according to Forbes. Yeah. Since launching in 2013, its user base had skyrocketed, hitting 7 million monthly active users in 2017 and climbed to 30 million in 2020. Mr. Lee's death has prompted renewed criticism of violent crime in the Californian city. Data from 2021 shows that residents there face a 1 in 16 chance each year of being a victim of property or violent crime, according to the Hoover Institution, which is a policy research think tank, making the city more dangerous than 98% of US cities. Crazy. Next headline. And top UN officials warned yesterday that a Taliban government order banning Afghan women from working for its mission in the country would violate the World Bodies Charter and demanded the ban to be revoked. The United Nations also announced it had instructed all Afghan staff men and women, not to report to the office after the ban on its women's staff was confirmed. The Taliban authorities have imposed a slew of restrictions on Afghan women since seizing power in 2021, including banning them from higher education and many government jobs. The increase in curbs are reminiscent of the Taliban's first government between 1996 and 2001, when the UN said they were responsible for repeated human rights violations, particularly against girls and women. While it's unclear what the effect of a charter violation would be in the long term, the UN ordered all its Afghan staff, men and women, not to report to the office until further notice. And the last headline, trigger warning here, and there's been some global criticism and concern which mounted yesterday, Wednesday, after Israeli police clashed with Palestinians inside Islam's third holiest site, sparking a military exchange of rockets and airstrikes, with fears of further escalation. 2 more rockets were fired late yesterday from the Israel-blockaded Gaza Strip towards Israel, the army and witnesses said, and fresh altercations broke out at Al-Aqsa Mosque during the Jewish Passover and the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Armed police in riot gear stormed the prayer halls of Al-Aqsa Mosque before dawn yesterday, aiming to dislodge law-breaking youths and masked agitators. A barrage of rocks and fireworks met the officers, police videos showed, and more than 350 people were arrested. Violence in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has intensified since the new government of veteran Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took power in December, a coalition with extreme right and the ultra-Orthodox Jewish parties. The mosque in Israeli annexed East Jerusalem is built on top of what Jews call the Temple Mount, which is Judaism's holiest site. It has been a frequent flashpoint, and clashes there in May 2021 sparked the latest Gaza war that raged for 11 days. And that's it for the headlines.
Thank you. Let's get into Word on Road. All right. I have an issue here with people.
Here we go.
Here we go. Indeed, here we go. Because I really try sometimes to really, not throw shade or anything, but I have an issue with women who they had a certain story, and then out of nowhere, they want to change the story, but then they want to preach to everybody who's still subscribed to the first story about what they're doing. I hope that's not one of y'all. It really gets on my nerves because when you were going to become a new person, you didn't give the rest of us the memo. So now that you're now walking in this new light, you cannot be shaming and throwing people who are walking in the old light that you loved, so you were dying for it.
Oh, my eyes.
Ekin Su, right? That's who I've got issue with this morning. This lovely morning. Ekin Damn Su, right?
I thought you were talking about someone else. I can't lie.
Damn, I love
You people like that. To us because we know you people like that.
She spoke to me.
Oh, I know.
Who do you think you're talking about?
Oh, no. I know.
Said that on.
She said that on air. Wow.
That one.
Listen, sometimes like I know a lot of people like this.
Yeah.
But when I have to address one person, it's more like Cinderella's. There's hella Cinderellas. So you can tie your shoes as you're hearing this as well. So Ekin Su yesterday tweeted, another thing, yeah. Some girls be single for a time. And then when you get them back, you don't know how to act anymore. Okay, all right. So, no man will ever take you seriously with just half-naked pictures of you in a bikini and lingerie. # you are what you project. # ladies take note. Pause.
We watched you for a good 2 months.
How did we meet
bikini.
her? How did we meet you? With a little itsy-bitsy triangle bikini top and a thong.
Come on.
That's how we met you.
Not a thong.
A thong.
I don't know.
That's how we met you.
I
From
know
Love
she was
Island.
Yeah.
But I don't know what she wore. Okay.
This is how we met you. Also, she went on to have a line with Polly. I will tell you now, this is not what you wear to church.
Yeah. Them
I will
dresses
tell you
are
now.
itty bitty.
Hella, you know the cutout bit where it's all cut out.
Itty bitty dresses.
Then now you think that you want to tell people
But
anyway.
you're acting brand new.
Then she went on to then post on her Instagram story talking about a girl can be just as sexy without showing some skin.
Bye-bye.
Sexy is having brains, knowing how to carry herself and still being a badass. Then she said to all the classy ladies. Basically, yeah, she was on Dancing with the Stars or whatever the UK one is. She was trending for days. Ofcom reports were made because how sexy she was dancing. If I talk now, the sister's talking. Anyway, so she did that, but she deleted it very quickly. I'm glad she deleted it because you must have known that was a very, very foolish thoughts to put out into the world. It's very, very stupid. No one asked that. Someone else who's had enough of foolish thoughts out in the world. So you know Tiny, as in T.I.'s wife from Escape. She has this ugly PR, as in people keep calling the woman ugly, and it's really out of order.
Oh.
I mean, the botched surgery, there's that in it.
It's
But
a
then
surgery. So sorry to cut you.
it has to be, man. That can't. God didn't do that.
What surgery?
How she looks.
No,
that's her
no,
face.
not her face. I'm talking about the body.
No, but
Oh,
her
is it?
face looks like she's done something to it.
She's done
though.
some stuff to her face.
That's not
as
how
well.
she
I thought it was
looked
just her
before.
eyes that she done.
Yeah,
and her
some of
nose,
she
I
tattooed
think.
the colour of her eye.
Her lips look funny,
Yeah.
and then
Is it the secretary or the TI's wife?
Sorry, the wife. The wife.
The wife.
The wife, yeah.
You like trouble, innit?
you know who you're talking about.
You like trouble. I want to clarify. And you got extra clarify because Tia is very cheeky because when he goes for the extras, they don't look nothing like his wife. They're like his pre-jobs kind of situation.
Pre-surgery.
That's it. Thank you very much, ma'am. So so basically, so people always call her ugly and all that kind of stuff, and I do like comparisons. Kind of how they do for like Lil Kim as well, and talk about how but Tia's is Tiny's is worse. Like Tiny's is worse, isn't it? But
The
her
Lil
daugh-
Kim's.
They talk about how pretty Lil Kim was, and now she's
No,
like
Lil
she's
Kim
got
was
an allergic
pretty.
reaction.
Oh yeah, she.
Yeah, she was.
Naturally.
No.
Yeah,
Allergic
you heard about-
reaction.
yeah, she's blown up. Sometimes she looks like.
Oh,
Look,
people are saying she looks like she's had one.
No, I put my spin on it.
Okay. No, but whose one's worse though?
Lil Kim.
I think
She
Lil
looks-
Kim's one's
she
worse.
looks different.
Okay, cool.
Lil
Yeah,
Kim,
yeah.
yeah.
She looks,
Okay.
it's okay, but she looks different. Doesn't look like Lil Kim.
She was
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah, she was
But you know, I
pretty,
saw
yeah.
that with it, trigger warning. So trigger warning. But someone was talking about how like people like to cuss her for like ruining her face or whatever, forgetting that is it Biggie she was with?
Yeah.
How he punched her nose, he beat her and broke her nose, and she had to have surgery to get a new nose. Yeah.
Is it?
People like to cuss this woman and what she's done to her face, forgetting that she had no choice.
Oh wow.
And obviously that's what's contributed to her feeling like she's not
Jesus.
beautiful enough and stuff like that. So the first surgery was as a result of domestic violence.
Wow.
Is that a true fact? Was that something that
Yeah,
she
because
put out?
it was it seemed to be fact.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an alternative fact. It was fact.
It's not an alternative story.
I feel like when people feel like because someone's dead they can't talk about what they did. What do people speak up? But anyways, so basically her daughter. So someone tweeted again talking about they had a picture of her when she was younger, and they said, "Yo, can somebody explain to me what happened to Tiny?" And this is wild, you know. Like this is why I really don't like social media sometimes. Because how can you tweet, yo, can somebody explain to me what happened to Tiny? Because my whole life she's been ugly.
Wow.
How can you say that?
Who said
That's
that?
not true.
Some person.
Wow.
And then the person's actually, well, everyone's verified these days on Twitter, isn't it? It says, I never, because people are buying it. I never knew she was pretty back in the day. How do you say that?
That's rude.
And then her daughter then
She must be like a Gen Z? Gen Z?
I don't even know,
one
you
of
know.
the new ones.
New Gen, whatever they are.
Gen-
Because
Well,
they don't
that's
know
Gen Z.
about old.
Oh, it's
They
a
don't
man.
know
Escape
about.
and that,
It's a
yeah.
man as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember saying
Oh.
business there.
Come on. Come on, guys.
I didn't want to do it, but the shoe fits. Or the Jordans fit. So then her daughter then saw that tweet and then and this is the thing, people forget that people have like family members. Like, they have nieces, they have cousins, they have. So her daughter responded, quote tweeted it and said, "She grew up in the industry and has always received more hate than love. I know most of you can't fathom what that does to your self-esteem because your life revolves around getting on the internet and talking down on others like it's your job without the paycheck. The misery." She's like, yeah, she basically said the misery. Yeah, you lot are miserable. I think she should have just said, her mum was beautiful though. She's different than that, but she didn't. But yeah, and then also my last bit of tea. I didn't really care about this, but I saw the people were caring. I'm trying to cater to all. But Lil Durk got his girl back, India Royale. So I think the story with them, because there's so many like Lils and so many.
Yeah, I don't know
can't
who's
keep
who.
up.
I
I
don't-
genuinely cannot keep up.
You said it, and I was
Often-
like, who's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Okay.
Apparently he's really, really good.
Is this
actually.
the blonde dread one?
Yeah.
Don't all have
I
dreads
don't
as well.
Listen.
Yeah. I couldn't even agree because I was like, which one? But so basically, his girl left him because he cheated on her, and I think he got a girl pregnant, like had a baby or something like that, had a baby on her. But I know that people that care about this, when they look at these girls as like role models and copy their fashion sense and all that kind of stuff, people have always said that she was just like a good girl, like she just minds her business. She's not really trying to do too much. She just keeps herself to herself. So I guess in the space of things, she's not the attention-seeking girlfriend of a rapper, basically. So when she left, people like really rated the fact that that she's not gonna stand for that and whatever. And then she went out. I remember she went out like clubbing one time, and people were like, and then men were like talking about, you break up with a girl, and now she's all twerking. She's now on a twerk tour, blah blah, and they're basically cussing her, and it was just the whole thing.
Twerk tour.
Yeah, she was in the club dancing with her girls one time, one video, and they were like, "Oh, look at her." They were like, even if I was Durk, this would put me off her. It was a whole conversation about if you got a girl and she goes out, if you don't break up and she goes out to the club, as men that gives them the ick.
Okay,
Which not
but
that's cute.
But
Which is now they're friends. Like,
This is a whole nother discussion. I'm not even going to get into it.
I can't. So he had an Instagram live the other day, and he didn't show her. He was singing like Beyonce, and he looked very, very happy. Like he had a glow back. Okay, the guy was very happy. I was actually happy for him. I was like, you know what? You got her back in it because you were looking real down and out the past few weeks, kind of thing. And then I guess the detectives online, put together the tattoo of the snippet they saw of someone's shadow, and put it to hers, and they've concluded that they're back together. But if that's the case, then
is he going to stay faithful?
All right. I hope she had that conversation with him.
All right.
But I do think that because he's lost her,
I think he will.
I think he knows that she's not playing
For a while, maybe like a year or two.
No, 'cause I feel like some guys.
So he's going to be more careful. Okay.
No, I feel like some guys when they.
No,
I don't believe that.
You don't.
I don't believe that. No,
I don't know him,
I don't
and he's a rapper, so I don't know.
This is it. I don't believe that because he's gonna be like he might move forward being more careful. I feel like he could actually now be faithful because he realized that damn, like I don't know, but you lost her.
Don't believe
it. She's not playing with you.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
And it took a lot to get her back. I think that.
How long weren't they together?
No, I don't know any of this information.
No, I
have a clue.
Do you know what? I think it can go both ways. I feel like when men, when you leave a man, I think he may have more respect for you, and he may not cheat again. I think in the industry that he's in, the amount of money he has, the age he is, I do think he's going to cheat again. Or he could look at you like, okay, cool, I can do it again.
How can your two options be about him cheating again, please?
Yeah.
I went for the non-cheating option.
No. I said that he might not do it again the first time. Sorry. He might not do it again the first time.
He might do it again. He might do it again.
No, he might not do it again. But based on his age, the industry he's in, the money he has, the people he's around, he's probably going to do it again. Or, he going to do it again. No, but I feel in both scenarios, he's gonna do it again.
I have hope for people.
Yeah, that's
I don't believe all men cheat.
Yeah. I don't believe all men cheat.
But I do believe as well that sometimes you can make a mistake or whatever, however intentional it was, and it can really click in your head that what a gamble that was. Yeah. That was very foolish of me, and you can then turn around and be like, "Okay, never again."
I just feel in order for that to happen. Your environment has to change, and his environment is not going to change.
Because I was going to talk about Waka Flocka Flame, that guy. Yeah, him. So he was chilling time for breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I don't know why sis was there anyway. And then one time she's like, you know what? No, I'm actually done. This is foolishness. And he put in so much to get her back that and then when he got her back, he changed his circle. He didn't have the same friends. He didn't go clubbing no more. Like he changed everything because he was like, I'm not about to put myself in this kind of situation ever again.
100%.
All the best all parties involved in it. That's what I'm saying.
All the best.
All the best.
Best wishes.
Best wishes. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's all from me today. And let's get into people's journal.
All right, people. So welcome to the People's Journal. I'll give you the news from an economics point of view. So the first thing I want to talk about, Brent, if you don't mind, putting the link up on the screen.
It's so disgusting.
Please. It's horrible, isn't it? But I was gonna make you
you've seen a second.
Kind of guess what it is, but I don't think you'll be able to hide it. Yeah, because it's showing. Basically,
guess what is
this? What is meant to be?
Yeah,
mince.
That don't look like no mince.
Is that liver?
It's mushed up mince.
Does it look like mince to you?
No, it doesn't. But you said, what is it supposed to be? I haven't read it, but
is it kidney or liver?
It looks like liver.
Yeah, it looks exactly. Yeah.
With egg on top.
That's what it looked. Yeah.
The wrapper.
Okay.
You know when I saw from here, it looks like egg.
You know when I saw vac-pack? Yeah, I thought it was supposed to do COVID. Like it's like an attachment. I don't know what I thought it was.
What is it?
But yeah, man,
it's mince. Beef mince.
3% fat. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
Is that what it looks like now then? Or was
Yeah,
this accident?
yeah. But what they're saying is they're pointing it down to using the vacuum packed method, right? And they're doing that to use 55% less plastic. So because I think they've compressed it so much and it's vacuum packed, it's just squished the meat.
Now,
and
because
it
you can't
looks
see
like that.
one line.
You can't see nothing.
Yeah.
There's no groove.
Nothing.
There's no groove. Where's the lines? Where's
Exactly.
Yeah,
The,
you,
there's
I
no
feel like you should at
separation.
least see one line per curry. That is smooth and flat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so
man.
nasty.
But that's
Is it
good for
cheap there?
making meatballs though.
I ain't got time for that.
I like to make cheesy meatballs. So, you know when you put the cheese and then no.
Yeah, this is for you. Claire. They made this.
I'm buying that meat.
At least one person celebrating this
No,
new
because
invention.
I make meatballs, innit? So you just rub it, put the cheese inside, and
This is already.
you lot
done.
should try
perfect
it.
for you,
You
though.
lot should try cheesy meatballs.
perfect.
It's so nice.
But yeah, man, the shoppers expressed their distaste, man.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, man, this looks like a rectangle of mushed offcuts. And someone said it looks like someone's kidney. It pretty much looks like liver and kidney.
Was it cheaper then because they're saving plastic?
I don't think so. It'll be just cheap for them.
No, then that's not good then.
Sorry, I'm not about to eat nonsense because you are trying to save the planet.
Yeah, it looks,
I mean,
looks
just
horrible.
stop eating cows, man. Save the planet quicker. Well, I'm not doing that either. So.
The next thing I want to talk about is basically, I think I definitely spoke about this on the show, yeah. But are you guys aware of the National Mobile Phone Emergency Warning Test?
Yes.
Cool. So,
I know what that is.
Does it matter if you're not in the country?
I don't even know what it is.
I don't know what it is
I'm
either.
not going to be in the
Fine.
country at that time.
I think it's just UK wide, you know. I don't think.
I think it is UK wide.
I think it's UK
Can you give us
wide.
context? Some
Yeah,
of us
so-
are
Please,
lost.
I don't know what's
going on.
You
guys don't know?
No, you do.
You must.
Esther, you.
When I tell you,
You've
know.
seen it on
Yeah.
TikTok.
We spoke about it.
They've been talking about it all over TikTok.
I haven't been on TikTok.
Girl.
It's a trap on there. I've got 50 DMs from my friends. I'm like, you stop sending me stuff. I'm never going to watch it. Just stop it.
So basically, the government's announced that a siren is going to be going off on nearly every smartphone in the UK.
Do you know how annoying that is? So the entire house just ringing.
Yeah. At a certain
Yeah.
time.
At 3 p.m.
3 p.m. on the 20-something of
Yes,
April. can't remember.
Sunday the 23rd of April.
Why Sunday?
Hold
I
on,
think
what do you
this
mean
is-
why Sunday?
I don't want it on a Monday.
Why
I don't
not
want it on a Monday,
Sunday?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I might be trying to sleep. It's a Sunday.
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Actually, I love it afternoon. I
It's
love
a
a Sunday
Sunday.
naps.
Yeah,
Oh, Sunday
after,
naps.
after church nap.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
It's the best thing ever.
Well, you won't need to set your alarm because this will wake you up, innit? And basically, it's going to be 10 seconds of sound.
10
and-
seconds. Do you know
That's
how long that
I've
is?
turned mine off.
Yeah, you can turn
I
it
don't
off.
think, can you?
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. 'Cause I-
TikTok.
Listen, TikTok.
TikTok,
Listen.
What's the use of this?
Okay, so basically, I think we definitely spoke about this on the show. Basically, certain emergencies where the government want to tell you guys.
There's a flood or
Yeah,
evacuation
aliens are
or
coming.
something.
Oh, this is good
yeah.
then.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So
That's
it's
what
just a
they
test.
tell you.
It's true. It's true.
Anything, listen, from
She wanna police now.
COVID-19, I don't believe nothing the government tells me.
They probably use it for
That's
arrest
what
now,
they
you
tell
know.
you.
Okay, so what do you think it's for?
They're gonna use for
I
arrest.
don't know.
Arrest.
Listen, because how do they have access to my phone to get my siren to ring?
They have
So
access
now,
to
yeah, when
I
they
have
need to
access to
catch
everything.
somebody, if they need to catch a criminal, they're just gonna let off his siren on his phone. You think you're hiding in the bushes? You think you can get it from me?
No, literally.
The same way when we were all in lockdown, now we have, what are those things that they were putting up? Those radio, those...
Oh, just track if the person that you've got.
convenient time, wasn't it?
David, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe anything they say. I've turned mine off. I'll listen to my mum's one. Listen. Anyway, I won't be in the country, so...
But yeah, the test was originally planned for early evening, but was moved to 3 p.m. Like I said, to avoid clashing with the FA Cup semi-final.
What? That's why.
But it's very important. The matches, the FA Cup semi-final. In the bread.
The fact that it's even based around football, I can't take it seriously.
Yeah. I think you said
Remember,
that.
it's just a
It sounds
test.
Do you
dumb.
know
It's
what's
just
mad
a test,
though?
though.
Men are such main characters.
Honestly.
Do you know what?
Because
Whenever
that was a women's FA Cup. That siren's going
Never.
off while they're all on the
That's
pitch.
going
I think a whole hour. They wouldn't care.
You hear it loud and clear on the screen.
I just feel whenever the government tries to make the nation comply with something, they're just seeing how compliant we are for them to want to do their next step. That's what it is.
Do you know what'd be so sick though? I would love to actually hear all of that in unison. You know how like when during lockdown people were doing the
claps.
claps?
Clap, yeah.
It was like I like something happening and it's happening everywhere at the same time. Something safe. Laura, something safe, please. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like it'd be so cool to actually hear that from everyone's house. Like, I wonder if it's going to be loud enough because it's happening at the same time for everybody. It's an entire nation, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be loud. It might sound like Jesus is back.
You should literally stand outside and just see if you can hear it.
No, I was really going to.
No, you're really gonna do
I'm
that.
really gonna-
I know you're gonna do that. You're gonna do that.
I'm going to stand outside for a moment, but let me see if I can hear. That's going to be
funny.
sick, you know.
Must be
Try and
mad
record it,
loud.
yeah.
I'm going to try and record it.
Your phone's gonna go off.
No, but actually, sorry to be the Debbie Downer, but I did see again on TikTok,
here we go.
about the whole siren thing, and it's important to make sure that we're letting people know that you can switch it off, because in some certain situations, like people who have got secret phones in terms of like domestic violence and stuff like that,
I thought you
they
meant
might.
G-Man.
No,
Like, good.
no, we don't care about those. We don't care about this. But there are some women that actually have emergency phones.
Oh, yes.
And
Oh,
private
yes.
phones, so they
Yeah.
need to be able to switch it off in that emergency setting. So yeah, make sure you are spreading the word, because you don't know whose life you may potentially be
save.
saving.
You heard that, people?
That's
Yes.
so true. That's not Debbie Downer. That's very important information.
Yeah,
actually.
man. So yeah, last thing is basically the text message and alarm is expected to hit 90% of mobile phones in the UK.
It's a text and
Yeah, it's
alarm.
gonna be
They're
a
not doing
text,
too much.
an alarm,
90%. Why?
Yeah, but
90?
say-
The
I
10% is the government.
No,
They
10%
all
is
know,
the
they know exactly where they are.
No,
Why?
10% is the old
10%
people.
is not
It's
hitting?
the old people
That's
that
what
No,
I
the old
want
people
to
need
know.
it.
start
The
small.
music
The
makes sure that they
10%
get
is
that.
not
that's
hitting.
what it is. Some people don't have the smartphones. That's why. Yeah.
Then they will 100%.
Listen,
They'll be 100% then.
There's smart
yeah, we
TVs.
100%.
There's smart. Let's
No,
not.
if it's
let's
for if the initiative is for smartphones,
Yeah.
it needs to be 100% smartphones. If they said phones, devices, then okay, 90% can make sense.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's 90% of mobile phones, not 90% of smartphones.
I'm sure the Nokia can make a sound too. That's interesting.
I'm not buying it.
And the next thing I want to talk about is obviously we've been speaking about strikes going on, and pretty much NHS bosses are saying, look, doctors, please stop striking, man, because the patients are going to be at risk.
Give them
man.
money then. It's an easy solution.
Yeah, because next week there's going to be a 4-day strike.
Oh.
Junior doctors.
The junior doctors.
Jesus.
No, sorry, I have to take it. Yeah, I saw it on the news yesterday, and I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It's the South London Trust, and they were in the news because they said on a WhatsApp group, somebody very senior on a WhatsApp group said, those that have come here that are studying with visas, I shouldn't laugh.
But they exempt from the strikes.
No. If you're coming or studying on a visa, if you if you strike, I'm gonna revoke it. I'm gonna take you back.
Wow.
So you can't strike.
Wow, the
Like
striking
that.
for everyone.
Nah, sorry.
Strike is for
human
everyone.
rights.
But they're actually getting in trouble because you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed
Good.
to say
You
that.
need to get them
Yeah,
out
when
here.
I saw it and I saw
So
the
rude.
trust and I saw the name of the trust and it's where I live, and I said, okay,
Oh, I
so
know.
it had to be you. In the
said-
news for stuff like
that's
this.
wild.
But
So
it's
annoying.
important to know because, like you said, like you're not part of, I guess, the country like that, innit? Like, so you
Yeah.
came here to
Scaring
work.
people
to work.
into coming. Yeah, scaring
Yeah.
people to come into work. But if they want to strike, that's their legal
Oh, that's
right.
our border though.
It's a human right.
Because they know they'll be scared. So they wouldn't even want to risk
Yeah.
it now. Even now you've told them that, no, you can't, you have a right. They're thinking, just in case.
Yeah. It's really bad.
Yeah, man.
So, man, what do you think about that? Do they have the right to strike? The goal of them, right?
So what?
What?
Do you have a mic? Do you have a mic?
What do you think about that, Ibanya?
Um,
You invited them over to work, help them out, and they decide to join their
I don't think it's just a
colleagues
case. Is it just a
who
case?
they've
Of,
just met.
I don't think it's just a case of us inviting them. They wanted to come to it. So if you come over on a work visa, right, and your stay is dependent on that, you need to be working.
Nah, I'll be honest with you, yeah. The
They did
NHS
agree.
is suffering enough. They needed them.
Did they agree to the stipulations of the visa?
Yeah, they must have.
All right, so why are they complaining?
I want to support
This
their
is-
friends.
I'm asking you to be devil's advocate.
Ultimately,
Sorry,
whatever
love. Sorry,
their
love.
friends
Sorry, love.
are-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
This-
He says, sorry, love.
Sorry,
for the
sorry.
economic guy here. I want you to do the whole devil's advocate stuff. Because you're normally not for the people.
But is
innit?
that needed though?
I'm always for the people. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to figure out what the benefits of doing devil's advocate is going to be in this situation.
I don't know.
Find it. there's nothing.
There's not a damn thing.
Nah, man. I can't figure it out.
Do you
man.
think that their visa should be revoked?
Not because no, I don't think so. But that's because obviously I believe that the junior doctors are not getting paid enough. You know what I'm saying? Like the conditions are not good enough for people in the NHS at all. So yeah, so I understand it. But at the same time, I understand you came here to work and your visa is based on you working. So if you're saying I'm not going to work, I understand if there's consequences. You know
Is
what
a
I'm saying?
visa based on you working every day?
See, I'm not too sure about that.
It can't be because then
I think
you
it
have no
might-
annual
It's a
leave.
student visa, is it? Because they're junior doctors, are they still not students?
No, junior doctors are. I think they're proper doctors. They're
They're
just.
proper doctors.
They're
They're
just.
proper doctors.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They're just lower.
Yeah, so they have to work. Then it's all
Yeah.
about working.
I guess if they strike, if they
I
were
mean,
to
it's a
strike, they
good
just won't
point. I
get
can't
paid.
lie.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
How? I'm not
Because-
seeing it because for me, yeah, like they're striking over the conditions of their working.
Yeah.
And pay.
So whether I'm here on a visa, I'm here as a favour to Boris Johnson, who's the current Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, like whatever it is like I'm here for, this is still about working conditions and that still needs to be striked. So whether I'm like, I feel like them saying that shows, for me, that is them showing how the racism in this country, because you feel like because they've come here, you're doing them a favor. First of all, there was a whole campaign begging people from other countries to come here because people in the NHS keep quitting, doctors and medical staff keep quitting. So you've had you basically use the visa as an incentive to get people here to help your system, and then because they want to join people in rightfully protesting about the conditions, you're going to say, well, you know, if you do that, we're going to send you back to your country. That is racist.
Yeah, but
That's
no,
wild.
It's not, remember, it's not just like minorities and stuff, innit? There's other white people too. That
Ukrainians.
Yeah, no, and what is that?
Not racism.
Okay, it's not racism, but it's
But I
prejudice.
get what
It's
you
still,
mean.
it's
I
still
get
on the
what you
same. It's still under the same hateful
I get what
umbrella.
you mean,
But did they not have a choice to come over of their own free
this
will?
is it. This
Yeah,
is
they
what I'm
did,
saying.
but just because
Yeah,
but just because I did that doesn't mean. Sorry, I don't believe in doing someone allowing someone to do something or giving someone something and then maltreating them
Yeah.
on the kind of you feel like you have power. This is a power play. This is wild to me.
If you're a contractor, can you strike?
No, because if you don't work, you don't get paid.
You won't get paid.
You won't
Yeah.
get paid, but you can still strike.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just won't get
And
paid.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, and the fact that you're willing to miss out on pay, it still shows how
It
it
shows,
highlights the how big the issue is.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be protected like everybody else, like under the unions and stuff.
No,
innit?
they probably won't.
Yes, so it's like it's you knowing that if I strike, this may happen to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And until the laws kind of change to accommodate people like that in those positions, what can we do?
Anyway, to be fair, they've been revoking citizenships for a while now. Anyway, so
Yeah, I guess they may just have to find different ways to support them. You know what I mean?
But the thing is that they are allowed to strike. It's just that one hospital that said they
Is it?
shouldn't.
Yeah, it was just the one. It was
right,
just the one.
okay.
that
Yeah,
got
so
in
they
trouble.
are. Just that one hospital is
They got in trouble for it.
using their power.
exactly because they're using their power
Yeah.
to
Yeah, to
antagonize
do that,
people.
yeah.
That's wild, man.
It's wild.
That's very very wild.
Yeah, I guess the only difference is they just won't get paid in it, but the other ones. No, actually, what am I talking about?
No, because I know with strikes, that
if it
stuff
makes it.
with strikes, it's very rarely where you strike and not be paid. Because again, all of that striking and stuff is like it comes on like human rights. It comes under like your right to work. All that companies can get sued for it.
I don't
But
think
it
it's just
depends.
not getting paid.
No, it depends because if you strike, you don't get paid, unless it depends. It varies from
Yeah,
place
that's
to
why you've
place.
got unions and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
it
it
varies
depends.
from place to
But
place.
I think some of them might not be working that day as well. So I think they
Exactly.
don't want them to strike so they can come into work because they will have less junior doctors. So I don't think it's them striking because they're supposed to be at work. I think it's coming to work because we don't have enough people on that day.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, man.
Yeah.
But 4 days is going to be. Personally, I think they need to do whatever it takes to get their money. That's what I think.
I just feel
'Cause they
so
don't
for
get paid
people.
enough.
I feel sorry for people who have appointments, who have been
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah,
years
yeah,
for
yeah.
appointments. That's who I feel sorry for.
But that's what the government's banking on.
Yeah.
People to be like, you know what, we can't let the patients down. This, that, and the third. People, you know, like you
But the
said.
government has let everyone down.
Government, exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
the
is
government's
it.
fault.
The onus is always put
Yeah.
on the people that are striking.
Yeah.
These are not the
They-
people
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the top that is forcing them to strike. So you can't put the onus on the. And that's what people say. People do the whole, oh, they're so selfish. And when FiveXMore
They're
did like,
not.
how could you do that? Okay, well then in that case, you should be on foot on the ground with us. Then
Yeah.
you should be striking with us.
Yeah.
But when people love to do that anyway, people blame the wrong people.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Americans with the whole tipping culture. They blame the customers instead of the employers, but it's crazy.
But yeah, man. And the last thing I want to talk about is kind of linked to the NHS. And this is that hundreds of people with inherited breast or prostate cancer could now benefit from a targeted therapy on the NHS in England and Wales. So basically, cancer experts, they're happy about the decision, say it's momentous and this, that, and the third. And basically, this particular drug, right, is designed to treat specific cancers, right, linked to faulty versions of genes. Yeah. And so 800 people in total are going to be eligible for this treatment. So it's groundbreaking for people, man. basically around 500 men with advanced prostate cancer and 300 women with HER2, negative early breast cancer, who are at high risk of the disease returning, will be able to access this particular drug for free on the NHS and see, what it can do pretty much, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
Thank you. Let's get into woke or joke.
All right, people. So, woke or joke, right? This may not be a long one. But if you guys are not familiar with woke or joke, basically, it's just I say a few things and you decide whether this is true, woke, or this is just a joke, pretty much, yeah. So, the question today is, I'm going to give you 3 different things, different issues or situations that the French government is dealing with, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to tell me which one is not true. Yeah? Cool. So the first thing is, basically France's pension age, yeah? So, so basically every scenario could be a fake one, right? That I'm going to say. I'm going to make it sound real, though.
Okay.
All right, just to prepare you. So basically, the president, Emmanuel Macron, is attempting to raise France's state retirement. And there's loads of riots happening as we speak, right now, yeah? Don't check your phones, right? Basically, the current state retirement age is 62, right? Which is a lot lower than European neighbours, like in the UK, where it's 66, Germany, Italy, 67, and this, that, and third. People are rioting. They want that changed, but it's looking like they're still going to increase it, right? That's one thing. Second thing is, I'm not too sure if you guys are aware, but obviously during the month of Ramadan, some football matches in the Premier League are taking a break for Muslims to basically break their fast, right? France has said, we don't want to do any of that stuff. So you Muslim guys are just going to have to wait till 90 minutes and do your thing, right, basically, yeah? So that's another thing. And the last thing I want to say is there's going to be a new law which will make it mandatory for influencers, right, to basically have to say if they're using filters. This is going to be in law. So one of these three things is fake.
The France and the Muslims, yeah, they've had that. Anyway, that's woke. And the filters is woke.
Okay, so what's the fake thing?
The joke is the last one, the third one. I missed it.
The last one was the filters.
The filters was the last one.
No, the first one. The one I
Retirement age.
The pension. The
pension,
pension.
yeah.
Okay, so you don't think that France want to increase the pension age? It's 62 right now. UK 66.
I feel like I've
Italy,
seen
Germany,
this
That's why they're writing.
Exactly, that's why they're writing. If they are writing, but
Yeah, right.
They are right.
They're writing, but it wasn't for this.
It's not. I don't think it's for this though.
It was for it was because it lives.
I
French
think
version.
football's a joke.
I think football's a joke. Because I saw something about Instagram and filters and stuff.
Yeah, I saw the Instagram
Yeah, I saw
filters
that
one.
one.
I saw that one.
What's the
I
football
like
again?
it.
basically, France is saying, look, we're not going to stop these matches for you guys to break it fast, innit?
That one is work because France and Muslims, yeah.
I don't know, because who's in power?
I think that one's a joke.
in terms of
I think the
like
football one's a joke.
who's got power when it comes to these football teams and stuff like that? Is it people who are Muslim in terms of religion? Who have the money, who can say, because that whole thing of and I don't know football talk. The World Cup and what happened in
Dubai and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So are they the ones in power? I don't know.
I feel like because with France, they just always they're like, oh, Muslims can't dress like this, and you can't wear this, you can't wear that. They've never been caring about religion.
But I feel like it's bigger than them when it comes to football. Look at the siren thing. We have to wait till we didn't have it on that day because of football, innit? So it's bigger than
That's
football.
the UK. That we're useless over here.
Yeah, they're proper
Very
useless.
weak nation.
Yeah, I think that one's a joke.
Do you think what? The joke is the football thing?
Yeah.
Do you think they would obviously open it up and be like,
Yeah, I
look,
think
we'll
they
follow
would.
suit? Think the same thing?
Yeah.
What do you two?
I would have said joke. No, I would have said woke, but if they open that up, they're gonna have to open up a lot more things. It's like a can of worms. So I'd say the football one's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pension is a joke.
Okay. So you feel like they're writing now, but for something else.
Yeah, I'm sure I read. I'm sure it was something to do with the cost of living and things going up and all that kind. I don't remember seeing anything attached to pension.
If I said all of them were fake, what would you say?
All of them are real, bro.
The filters is definitely real.
Yeah, I've seen
I
that
read
one.
that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was his wrong?
Okay.
I say you step up your research.
Is it in France?
Filters is facts.
Saying the filter things happen in France all over the UK.
The
filter is that just in France that they want to do
Yeah,
it.
this is all France.
Oh, it's all
related.
Oh, all of them
It's
is
all
France related.
Oh,
All
so
of
the
them
filter I don't think was
Oh, I
France.
can't remember the. Yeah, I don't think the filter was France.
I saw it, but I don't think it was France.
Okay.
This is stressing me out.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm very anxious
Like a
here.
test.
Well, because of time, I'll wrap up.
All of them are fake.
All of
France.
them. All of them are real.
Oh, interesting.
All of them are real.
I knew the football one was. Listen, one thing about the French, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't play by the Muslims.
I'll start with the filters, right? Basically, what they're saying is influencers in France could soon face thousands of euros in fines, right? And even jail time.
Wow.
Yep, depending on the type of content they post online. So basically, this new law will require all filtered or edited photos and videos to be labeled as such.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, I
The
like
way
that.
the hashtag ad, hashtag edited, hashtag Facetune.
It's
Do
true.
it.
It's
Yeah,
true.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I'm here for it. It's so harmful what's going on, you know.
So
It's so harmful.
But if they don't, how will they know that it's like how does somebody know that when something's been edited?
Oh, the same way I see people.
Yeah.
when I see them on the gram and I see them in the real life, I know it's edited.
but sometimes, no, but that's when you see them in real life.
Yeah.
But a lot of them won't meet their fans. So how will I know that this picture has been edited?
They need to
there
start
must be
planting.
filter.
They're gonna build
apps
some
and stuff,
sort of technology
software.
now, yeah.
There
They're gonna
must
build
be
some
They
software
can
for
point it
that.
out.
That's true.
There's software.
You
for
may
that.
like this even more then. It's also going to prohibit influencers from promoting cosmetic surgery procedures.
That should have.
As
Do you know
part
what?
of a
That's
paid
the
partnership.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't think
That should have never
influencers
happened in the
should
first place.
promote cosmetic procedures.
It never
Like,
should have happened
I
in the
didn't know
first
they were
place.
doing that.
They were. They do all them YouTube videos talking about, oh, I did this, and then they wouldn't tell the
Where
influencers
they-
that it was free for them. Then the young people go there. There's so many people that came out
Yeah.
with botch bodies not too long ago.
Is that a bad thing though?
Horrible thing.
Wait.
It's what a
Yeah,
bad
let me
thing. It's
say-
what a
let me say
bad
properly.
thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Face. She's ready.
That someone's gone and actually got surgery. They're happy with it, with the actual service they got, and it's telling the world, even though they're being paid for it.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, because they were not telling people they were being paid for it. They weren't telling people that that it wasn't that it was free. So the thing is, and because we see in even smaller things, like say for example hair, right? Say a hair company sponsors an influencer, they give them the best bundles. It was free because they want them to do promo for them. But when other lay people who go and buy it,
Not lay people.
girl, no lay like a lay person, yeah. When other normal people go and buy it, the non-influencers go and buy it, they get the worst bits. So when it comes to surgery as well, they will do the best body because again you're a walking advert for them. They will make it look absolutely lovely. But when people who are then paying for it, I feel like even if you wanted to talk about your experiences or whatever, make it known that you paid. And that's why I like this whole hashtag ad thing and letting people know that because a lot of people sell stuff to people and they don't say that I got it for free. So whatever service you go and I talked about it many times, the Instagram hairdressers.
Yeah.
I went off the recommendation of someone else that I didn't know got it for free. And then when I get there now, we're coming to insult our mothers and fathers.
But do you really think an influencer saying, "Oh, so I've been sponsored,"
Yeah.
will make a difference? And
Yeah.
I think it
I
does.
don't-
It
do you
does.
think?
Yeah,
It
it
does.
does.
It
I
does.
think it does.
Why?
Because
think twice.
you automatically open your eyes
Yeah.
and say, oh, okay, cool, that looks nice, but for me, it's probably not going to be that nice.
Yeah. You're very aware.
You have to, you got to be aware. So like, I don't want to say the name, but like loads of influencers promote this like really specific like cleaning company. Oh, they did a good job and came to my house and da-da-da-da-da. And then like other people are like, this is crap. I don't understand why. So for influencers, you do this massive, job. So when I saw that, I was just like, okay, cool. I'm going in here with the caveat that this
It
might
may
be
not look like
rubbish.
this. Yeah.
It might actually be rubbish because I've seen what certain people's reviews are basically the real reviews.
do you think
is
that? Do you think that's because of age, though?
Yeah, I
Do you
think age
think?
as well plays a
Do you
part.
think the younger? Do you think the 20-year-olds will care whether it's sponsored or not?
I don't think they'll care as
I
much.
don't think-
I don't think it'll
feel
make
like
a
they-
difference to them.
No, Joyce, I feel like they will care, but they won't care as
As
much.
much, yeah.
Because there's something about knowing that, this person's review is genuine because they actually went out and used their money to buy it. So everything they say is more authentic than knowing that it was gifted to them or was given to them. Everything you say is gonna be good. I feel like it definitely makes a difference.
You know what? Not really. I feel like there's a trend on TikTok. I need to get off that place. I don't know if it's what is the correct terminology. I think it's reverse influencerism or something like that, where people are actually being like, "Oh, I got gifted this and this is crap." and they're actually saying the truth about stuff. Like
Yeah, they
even
should've
if,
been doing that.
even if they're getting paid for it, they're like, you know what, I got paid and this is an ad, but actually I don't really like this.
Yeah.
There needs to be more of that because
that's the thing,
everything
there
is
should've
like,
been-
hashtag ad, everything's gleaming and shining and lovely, and you get it and it's rubbish.
And this is why, for
So-
me, like this is why Melissa's wardrobe and Jackie Aina are the queens, because even when they were getting gifted makeup and getting, obviously Jackie Aina, sorry, when she was getting gifted like makeup and whatever, back in the early YouTube days, she'd be like, this powder is crap. This is that. Do you get what I mean? So all of this, people love to do things that are meant to be normal and then put a label on. All this reverse influencing. You should have been letting people know that. Even people that do, that get invited, like that do the food critics and whatever, and they get invited to restaurants and stuff. They'll be like, oh, this was lovely. They won't tell you the bill was paid. And they want, and when you go there as well, there's no seasoning in the food. But because it was a free one and they don't want to deter other companies from working with them.
That's it.
They do that. So yeah. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
let's do it.
Yes, the next one, I pretty much spoke about it already. But French workers can receive their state pension from the age of 62, but it'll be less if that person has not made the required number of contributions and stuff, right? Like I said, they want to increase it to, I'm not too sure what they want to increase it to. I think 64, 65. But yeah, 64. So basically, he's saying he wants it to be a situation where you can only receive your state pension at 64. And this will be done gradually by 3 months, a year from September of this year until September of 2030. And the last one is the football. So yeah, man, the France Football Federation rejects pausing the matches for Ramadan, man. They're not interested. As we know, like, Islamophobia and all that type of stuff is real
rife over there.
and rife in France, man. Obviously, the decision sparked controversy and criticism from some Muslim groups in France who argue that it shows a lack of respect for religious diversity in
When
the
have
country.
they ever cared?
Yeah.
They don't care. It's just, those are words to them.
Mm-hmm. But do you, just to obviously hit it from another angle, I think this is the first time this has ever happened, though. Brent, is that correct? Even with the UK, right? So, like most things in life, it kind of takes time to kind of transition to everywhere.
For France?
Yeah, but
Oh,
France.
are they doing that in the UK then?
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
UK football
yeah,
They did it
matches?
this year, yeah.
Okay.
They're
Well,
still
France-
going to budge.
You don't think so, no?
No, I feel like they would never
They
budge.
probably
Yeah,
won't.
France
they-
is synonymous for Islamophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have other motivations. They definitely want to show, guys, this thing that we know you want, it's not happening. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, all these things were woke today. And this is what's happening in France, man. I guess you got to be thankful that you're not there. But yeah.
I do think we need to adopt some of their mentality, though. I'm here
What
for the
way?
strikes and the
Oh.
riots and stuff
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. I'm like, all of that, I'm here for it. Because even the other day, I was reading something about Kemi Badenoch doing something to do with like gender and all that kind of stuff. I was thinking, people are literally struggling to eat, struggling for everything. And you are in there talking about what's it called? Gender and how we should be on forms and stuff like that. We don't strike enough in this country. It's mad.
What do you mean gender?
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something to do with genders, and I knew it was going to be something that affects the LGBTQ community the most. But it's like, why is that where your priorities are lying at the moment when literally the people are crying and striking every other day? This is where you really want to pour all your energy into right now. This is what's most important to you. So, but yeah, man.
But yeah, that's it for Walk a Joke.
Yeah, let's get into our last headlines.
All right, people. So the last headlines, trigger warning here, and a devastating tornado tore through southeastern Missouri on Wednesday morning, unfortunately killing at least 5 people and leaving widespread destruction as authorities warned of more twisters. The tornado struck Bollinger County before dawn, sending first responders into a frantic search for injured people caught under the rubble. The Missouri State Highway Patrol Sergeant by the name of Clark Parrott told NBC News early in the afternoon that officials are hopeful the death toll won't grow. So hopefully it does remain contained. But yeah, unfortunately 5 people, well, at the moment at least 5 people have died from this. Military in Brazil have been caught doing some untoward business, man. Basically, they spent COVID funds on snacks and meat.
Oh, that's so funny.
Can you imagine?
You say meat?
Yes.
What do you
Can you
mean?
imagine?
What?
Yeah.
Snacks and meat.
That's crazy.
Must have been tough them times, isn't it? So the Federal Court of Accounts has detected that the Ministry of Defence and the Armed Forces irregularly spent resources that had been assigned for the combat of COVID-19. The Federal Court of Accounts pointed out that 256,000 of their, I'm not too sure what their currency is, was spent by the army on snacks, ice cream, and soft drinks, which, due to their low nutritional value, would not be to reinforce.
How old are they?
Ice cream and fizzy drinks. Like,
this
is a kid's party.
Yeah. There was also a purchase of 12,000 kilos of filet mignon and sirloin and sirloin steak.
Filet mignon.
Why would you have taste when it's someone else's money? Of course you have good
They
taste.
went to go buy the Wagyu, you know.
Listen, we got the money. We can put it on the bill.
STK vibe.
Listen.
It's crazy, man. So, about
Wild.
50% of the army's food expenditures benefited organizations that did not have troops. Can you imagine? So in the Navy, credits went to structures with no connections to the health sector as well. Yeah, a lot of corruption over there, man. And the last bit of news here, trigger warning. And a man who was deported for being in the UK illegally following an investigation into him infecting a woman with HIV has been jailed 14 years after the offence. So Jermaine Scott was arrested in February of 2011 on suspicion of recklessly infecting a woman in 2009, but was later released due to a lack of evidence. He was deported to Jamaica 9 months later, but extradited back to the UK last year, 2022, after new evidence came to light. He was jailed for 3 years after pleading guilty at Chester Crown Court. Chester police said the 39-year-old was diagnosed with HIV in 2005 and had been prescribed medication to minimise the risk of transmission to others. The Force said that Scott, who was from Jamaica, was not regularly taking the tablets when he had unprotected sex with the woman in 2009, and he failed to tell her that he had HIV. They said a number of genetic links between the strain of HIV and the victim had been diagnosed They said a number of genetic links between the strain of HIV that the victim had been diagnosed with and that of the offender were also identified. Obviously, that kind of linked them together and proved everything. As a result, a charge of grievous bodily harm was brought against Scott in February of 2020, and he was extradited back to the UK in 2022. So he's serving his time. And that's it for the headlines.
Can I say something? Why did he not go to jail in Jamaica? I feel like him going to jail here is even better.
I'd rather go to jail here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Maybe
I'm
because of the
surprised.
crime,
I thought
because the crime was here, I guess.
Nah. If I was happy pissed, you're going to jail there.
Yeah.
No way.
I feel like depending on the country, I want the accuser to, the accusee, the person that did the crime in it, to go wherever it's harsher.
Yeah, where's worse? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nice.
But yeah.
I feel like it's worse than
Not that I
when you
know, I haven't been to jail. I'm saying he is nice.
but you know, like certain countries, because it's like, I feel like it's sad when people do like go to jail here and then you get extradited to like back home. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
something.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
They must give you mango in Jamaica, man.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's it for the headlines.
All right, let's get into the reaction.
All right, people. So obviously this is going to be a quick reaction today. There were two games played in the Premier League yesterday. That was Man United and Brentford. Man United won 1-0 at Brentford. And West Ham.
He appreciates that.
West Ham lost at home to Newcastle United 5-1. Yeah, it was a big beat.
That's a
still.
bit mad still.
And in Spanish Copa del Rey as well, Real Madrid beat Barcelona away. So at Barcelona's home at the new camp, they lost 4-0 to Real Madrid. So Karim Benzima struck a hat-trick as Real Madrid thrashed the arch rivals and the Liga leaders 4-0 to reach the Copa del Rey final in stunning fashion yesterday. Barca, who were looking for a fourth successive Clásico victory this season, looked set for the final, having edged a 1-0 win in the first leg of the semi-final at Real Madrid's home ground. But after dominating the early stages of the second leg, they fell apart. And they lost 4-1 on aggregate. And the last headline is that Frank Lampard is going to be named as the interim manager of Chelsea. So, yeah, man, he's only, I guess, there till, I guess, the end of the season. And then they'll see what happens from there, pretty much. But he's been out of a job since January when he was dismissed by Everton. We spoke about that, innit, Brent?
Yeah.
Yeah. After less than a year in charge. But he's gone from everything, he's gone up to higher things, man. So put your faith in God, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the reaction.
Nice. Let's get into the outro. Lovely. Thank you, our lovely guests, for coming and giving us some more knowledge. Can you just reiterate your page and where people can follow you and the things you've got coming up for April Advocacy Month?
No, go ahead, baby.
Sorry, do you know what was really random? I was thinking just now. Do you remember when we came last time and we beat like the questions that you asked?
Yes.
Oh,
We
yes.
got like the high scores. Has anyone beat that?
No, people have been embarrassing ever since.
Really?
No,
Are we
someone
still
beat it,
are we still on the
Ngozi.
top?
Oh,
So
yes,
someone
Ngozi
beat you.
did.
Ngozi.
Actually, yeah.
Oh.
You're second place. But it's another black woman, isn't it? So, as long as there's a black woman in the lead,
Don't make it better.
the men are just been showing their ass.
You're making it worse. Okay, cool. Thanks for having us. It's been amazing being here today. We are 5 times more. I'm Tineke. This is Chloe. And we run an organisation that is dedicated to highlighting and changing black maternal outcomes. We currently have April Advocacy on at the moment, which is a whole month full of literally what it says on the tin, April Advocacy.
Yeah.
So we're telling you about your rights, what you're entitled to. We're telling you information. We're partnering up with other organizations. We're just doing the most so that
As you
you
should. Love it.
guys can basically advocate for yourselves and get better maternity outcomes. So please do check us out on www. I can't talk.
You said double?
www.FiveXMore.com, and you can check us out on Instagram. We'll be sharing all of our resources and information, infographics, whatever it may be, to share on and forward on to all your family and friends.
Thank you. And how do people make donations as well? Is that on your website as well?
Yes, that's on our website.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
I was just going to ask you, do you guys have flyers and that?
Yeah, we don't bring it out there.
Yeah, we've got flyers. We've got quite
Everything.
a bit, yeah.
Are you guys like allowed to kind of give it to all the midwives and the NHS people and stuff?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
they've
cool.
got so much. They've got posters, they've got flyers, they've got our wallets.
Oh, is
Remember
it?
our wallets that we were talking
Yeah.
about?
Okay.
So information where women can just hold their birthing notes. That's rolled out across the whole of Southeast London. So sometimes I'll get a random picture or video from one of my friends who's out and it's like, I can see your wallet. And it's so good. When you're in a hospital and you just see people walking
I
past
see it in the
and
hospital all the time.
they have your wallet, you just think, wow, that's our
Nice.
and
amazing,
they're
man.
looking at that and they're looking at the information of self-care, when to call the midwife, all of this kind of thing. You just think, hopefully it's making a difference.
no, it is, man. You guys, we're proud of you and we continue to be inspired by you and just keep going. And thank you for the work you're doing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And of course, our lovely guest host, Maxi. Thank you for joining us as well.
Thanks for having me, guys. As always.
As always. And guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video as well. This is information that everybody needs. You can also find 5 times more first conversation with us. And we went into so much on that episode. So check that out as well if this is your first time hearing about them. And just share it, put it everywhere. Again, they talked about how important it is for men and women, black men and women. So throw it in there. And if you want to send voice notes and text in, our number is 075 648 41073. If you want to inquire about the show or feature on the show, our email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. I did see someone ask if we'll be here tomorrow, Monday. No, we take bank holidays off. And always, I stay on brand. Also, because basically I keep seeing these comments pop up here and there. People keep talking about I need to take a break because they don't like me and my views.
Oh.
And it's mad.
Oh,
it's crazy. Talking about, SS should take a day off and whatever. So meeting management took that on board.
Okay.
We took it on board. And I think the best way is not just, because I'm all for equality, inclusivity, all that great it is, right? So I will not just be the only one going on a break. Everybody's going on a break with me. So we'll see you guys not next week. Thank you, Brent.
We support our
Not next
sisters in arms.
They support their sister.
He
And
said
I love
no.
it.
He said no.
Huh? Who?
You said no.
No, I said we support our sister in arms.
Ah, it's okay.
In arms, exactly.
right.
Black king supporting a black queen. So we'll see you guys. What date are we seeing them? 20 something, innit?
20.
No, actually, no. I think we'll see you guys on
I'm
our
joking.
1 year anniversary.
Oh.
Which I think is the
18th.
no, it's okay, day before, 17th.
17.
Should I start bank holiday? No, it's not. Ugh. Let's try it. Listen, we'll see you guys on the 17th, and our 1 year anniversary is on the 18th.
Yes,
So,
we are striking.
It is a strike,
We
isn't
want
it?
them comments to start getting cleaned up.
Yes.
Appreciation
Listen.
needs to be all across the board. So
This is it, exactly.
More likes as well. And
More
shares.
likes, isn't it? Yeah, you
know
know,
what
when
I'm
we
saying?
see the subscription, what number are we on?
It's too low.
But yeah, man. So anyone who would have loved the show next week, you can go in the comments and kindly thank the people who were advocating for me to not be here, because now everybody's not here.
Listen, I'm taking everyone with me.
Everybody with me.
Yeah.
So have a
Ed
great
said,
Easter.
SD got my messages, yeah?
You're a dickhead, X. But I sure did. I did, and your wishes is not just my commands; it's the entire TDS commands. All right. But yeah, guys, have a lovely Easter, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Bye.